There we go. Hey! Pink!
Encoding overloaded. My favorite member of the Chatroom Lounge.
Oh!
The unsung hero.
One
or
picture.
Villain.
The unsung villain.
At this point, the very sung villain.
Yeah.
He won't shut up.
So is this recording still good, or we gotta restart?
Yes. No, it is still good. It didn't stop itself.
Okay.
Yeah.
Shuttermouth Lounge, episode number, what the fuck is it?
272.
272. Excellent. Ooh. All right. So, we actually are starting a lot later than we usually do because we got caught up talking about wrestling interviews. Pink, you got any favorite wrestling shoot interviews?
No.
You're probably one of the people I could think of that is opposed to them on a fucking moral basis, so I shouldn't have asked. Eddie.
I don't watch shoots. The only shoot.
Shit, alright.
The only shoot I've seen is Simon Gotch shoots Lesnar More, and I only watched that.
Oh,
one.
That's one of the greatest of all time.
And I only watched that one because, as we all know, YouTube recommended it for 3 years.
Yep. I think everyone's seen that one.
Simon Gotch, I think, is the most underused wrestler for shoot interviews. He's great. Very candid and the man never shuts up. I think I've mentioned this before, but the story goes that when Simon Gotch first got to the WWE, when he got up to the main roster, Bray Wyatt pulled him aside and said, "Whatever you do, never talk to Vince." And Simon Gotch goes, "Why's that?" And Bray says, "Because Vince hates people who never shut up, and you never shut up."
And the Vaudevillains were fired. Huh.
Yeah. I mean, does Simon Gotch really do anything anymore? Because Aiden English, I know, went over to New Japan, and I think he's more or less having a good time over there. But what happened to Simon Gotch?
I don't know. He's definitely not in any of the more prominent promotions, that is for sure. I don't know if he's still working the independent circuit or if he just hung up the boots for a while.
I mean, you'd think Japan would want to get a hold of him as well, because the dude deliberately carved himself to be a Carl Gotch send-up, even down to the name.
Right.
Oh my god, I go to put in Google, Simon Gotch, the first suggestion is Simon Gotch Enzo Amore.
Well, apparently, after leaving WWE, he got a new name, but he gained the rights to Simon Gotch in April of 2018. He's in Noah.
Yeah, he's in Noah.
Noah?
That makes sense.
Noah still a thing?
Yeah.
Noah is absolutely still a thing. They got your boy, Rene Dupree.
Fair enough.
Buddha just retired from Noah.
Yes. Muda's pretty well been the big star for Noah for a good long while now, but he actually got retired by a New Japan wrestler, which is kind of funny.
Yeah. Well, didn't he get retired by Choshu, technically?
No, he did not get retired by Choshu. I don't think that they ever actually rung the bell, but technically, yeah, Muda took his last wrestling move from Chono.
Or Chono, yeah.
Because Naito beat him in his retirement match, and then Chono hopped in the ring and said, "Hey, that was bullshit, Mudo. It's time for you and me to have the final showdown." And he just goes and climbs on top of Muda while Muda's on the ground and just puts him in the STF.
It wasn't even that. I saw the video. After the match, Muda stands up and he just starts calling out Chono. He's like, get in the ring. I want Chono to send me out. And then Muda just lies down for the STF.
Oh, that's great.
And he taps.
I saw the picture, and Muda is smiling while he's in the STF.
Yeah.
That one must have fucking hurt, because Muda's knees are fucked, and the STF is one of those ones that just kind of has to, by nature, bend the knees a bit.
Yeah. But from what I understand, Muda wanted to do that, or probably wanted to do that just because they started out, their career started out with Muda beating Chono. And
Muta and Chono was a 90s defining, what was like a decade defining rivalry for the 90s in New Japan.
Yeah.
And I guess I should mention this as well. Muta's retirement match, he also specifically went out of his way to do Mizawa's Emerald Flosion and Shinya Hashimoto's Jumping DDT, because neither of those men actually got to have their retirement matches. Mizawa famously died in the ring, and Hashimoto died as consequences of... I forget what Hashimoto died of. I want to say it was some kind of health-related consequences to his body, which if you've ever seen Shinya Hashimoto, you can probably guess. I'll look it up, though. But yeah, with Muta goes the last of the 90s Japan legends.
Yeah, and I mean, it sucks, but at the same time, Muta is old.
Hashimoto died of a brain aneurysm. I thought he died of health-related causes to his obesity. Well, not obesity, but his weight. Anyways. Yeah, Muta is the last of the big seven of the 90s in Japan. And yep, they're all done now.
Yeah, I mean, like, once again, I wish we could have gotten Muta in WWE, just because I want him in the games natively. We might still get him in the games natively, but not likely.
Well, GOG says that PW Insider says that he got inducted in the Hall of Fame last night.
Just last night, I saw it with my own two eyes.
Yeah,
him alongside Rey Mysterio.
I was about to say, it was really weird that
Muta won a Rey Mysterio shorter now.
Yeah. And he also stopped using the mist for some reason.
Yeah.
But he started using the Tiger Feint Kick. Huh.
Dominic just came up to him out of nowhere and started talking about how Ray was a shitty dad.
Yeah.
Muta looked bizarrely upset about it. Now, the wacky thing is, all the legends of the 90s are done. Tatsumi Fujinami is still going. That guy wrestled Ric Flair in the late 80s.
And the early 60s.
Yeah.
The 1460s.
Yeah. The Black Death was killing the crowd that was watching.
Fujinami,
like, it's in fucking medieval Europe where they've never even heard of Japan.
Yeah. Oh, I was gonna say the old medieval name for Japan. This was something dumb, but I don't even remember. Like, I know that Kete comes from that because the medieval name for China was Kete.
Yes.
But I forget what the Japanese were called.
Well, I can tell you Warhammer's not that much help for Japan, because the Warhammer name for Japan is just Nippon, which is the Japanese name for Japan.
It's not the Japanese name for Japan. It's the romanticized or the Romanized Japanese name for Japan, because the actual Japanese name is Nihon, but that was hard to say, I guess. So us Westerners came up with Nippon instead.
Excuse you, it's almost certainly the Victorian English, and I ain't gonna be caught for their bullshit.
Yeah.
Oh, boy.
Yeah, like that's why companies are called like fucking Shin Nihon Kihoku. I think that's their name. I forget.
Yeah.
Shin Nihon Keikaku.
Yeah.
You're just making this up now.
Yeah.
All according to Shin, right? That's how it goes. All according to Shin.
Yes.
My shins.
But yeah, like
all right.
At the same time, I'm glad that Muta retired because I saw snippets of his last match, and he could still wrestle like Lapsar and Shinsuke Nakamura, but that's also Shinsuke Nakamura. Like I don't think I'll ever forget just fucking actual ancient great Muta being put down for you know, like selling to rest, and he still gets up faster than Shinsuke, who is still out of breath.
The difference is Muta's old, but Muta still gives a shit. Nakamura stopped caring a long time ago.
Yeah.
Plus, Nakamura knew he wasn't going to be back to the Japanese audience for a good long while, so he doesn't need to get over that bad.
No, it's fine. He's an actual American now. Real American person. Shinsuke Nakamura. Just native.
Yeah,
Like he went
when he came into the show, they handed out cheeseburgers and root beer to the audience.
Yeah. Like Nakamura got localized so hard that he went past being white and he's actually Native American now.
Yeah.
Like he's joining Tatanka.
I was about to say, he comes in with a Tatanka entrance. Oh, boy.
So yeah, anyway. Think what's coming out on your channel. Is it the Great Muda?
No. Well, I don't think so anyway.
Why not? why
He's not in 2K23.
Why won't you do a
For
collab
some
with the Great
reason.
Muda?
I did not hear what you just said there.
I asked why won't you do a collab? A
Oh,
collaboration?
why won't I? He won't return my calls.
Yeah. I wouldn't return
Um,
your calls either.
So what is coming out on my channel this upcoming week will be Splitgate with you and Alex, because I've got all those trimmed down, and by trimmed down I mean I would occasionally hit the stop recording and start recording during our session. So that's how that works out. So I'll be having Splitgate coming out over the week, and I did not get a chance to record Marvel Ultimate Alliance last week, so that will not be coming out unless I do it tonight. But I wouldn't bank on that. But on Tuesday, the 14th of March, 2023, 2K23 will be releasing, and I will probably be doing videos on that. And those will probably be coming out over the week as well. So
All
it
right.
should be Splitgate and 2K23.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be good.
I need to look up if my PC specs are enough for 2K23, because I need to consider getting that on PC instead of PlayStation.
Yeah, boy.
I mean, not just because of, like, convenience and mods, but also because now we know how remote play works. And I can confirm the JD2K23 Steam page outright says remote play together.
Nice.
Oh yeah, that's true. That is true.
That be the true.
Oh yeah. What was I gonna say after that?
This graphics card they recommend might actually be my previous graphics card, and that's for maximum specs. So
Nice.
I think I'm probably gonna be safe to get it on PC this year.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah, meanwhile, I thought about getting it, and then I actually looked at the price, and I don't know how it is over there. Over here, they're just like, hey, so why don't you pay $110 for the basic bitch version?
No, it's over here. 110 is for the version with the goofy OVW stuff.
Yeah,
Nope.
that's the super uber duper deluxe version over here.
The super uber deluxe version is 180 or so. It's nearly 200.
Good lordy.
It's 170. There we go. I did the rough conversion. Yeah, it's $170. So yeah, I don't think I'll be buying 2K23 for the foreseeable future.
Are you telling me Leviathan is not worth $170?
Yes.
I don't think you have your priorities prioritized properly.
Okay, Pink, you stay on top of this better than me. I've seen the on-disc new move animations, but has anyone actually taken a look at what content comes with the OVW pack? Does it come with any new moves?
Nobody has, because the OVW pack was not part of their what did they call it? Their little
Okay, so I'm gonna have to. So odds are how things are gonna go is there's gonna be the morning of, where you and Derek and Ted bust the game open. I am going to ask you guys, one of you guys, can you please, for the love of God, look at the movesets, tell me if there's any DLC moves attached to the OVW pack, because that entirely determines what version of the game I get.
Right.
And also what moves there are, because I'm not going to pay an extra $20 for just a, like, if it's just a new Protobomb
Toss
animation. Like, hip toss. It depends on how pretty of a hip toss it is. It really is. Because like sometimes those moves I'll go around then and put on everybody. You know.
Yeah.
I think I've mentioned this before, but like in 2K14, Bruno Sammartino came with a very simple hammer lock that nonetheless was a really good working hold to put on people who didn't have submissions from the standing position anyways. So I put that on lots of people. Either which way, yeah, I'm going to be pestering you and Derek and Ted.
Sounds good. I'll definitely have you covered. That is, of course, assuming that my work gives me the Tuesday off, because I have not seen my schedules yet, so they might not have. And if they don't, then I'm just going to quit my job and bank everything on becoming YouTube famous with my 20 subscribers.
Yeah.
That'll be fine.
Yeah.
If you upload more shorts, then maybe.
Yeah.
But I got an email recently from YouTube that was just like, hey, upload shorts? this is not a request, this is a command.
Dude,
upload
like,
shorts or die.
The emails they send me, I can see like previews on my phone before I delete them. And it always like, it'll be like, your YouTuber weekly update or monthly update. And the screwy thing is the numbers on it are nowhere even near right every single time. Every time they email me, you have gained 7,000 subscribers this month. And I just look at my subscriber count of 1,000 that has not really shifted in about 8 months. And I go, you know what, YouTube, I don't believe you.
I think you're wrong.
If I was gaining 7,000 subscribers per month, I can guarantee you I would not be doing whatever I'm doing right now. I would be making more videos.
Yeah. But yeah, like we're like this channel specifically is slowly growing. So I'm happy about that because it's, you know, YouTube. Like one of the reasons that I freak out about us having holes in the schedule and stuff like that is just because YouTube rewards consistency. And also shorts right now, but that's the small thing they're pushing right now. But generally, YouTube favors consistency. So if you can't upload consistently, you might as well go fuck yourself. Which is where I've been for the past 4 years.
That's I don't know. Like I'm sure that there's like somebody's peeled apart the formula, and that has been one of the results they've got. But for me, like all my most successful videos have come at periods where I wasn't uploading consistently. Like, I think it's also a big matter of, does a video that you upload seem like it's exciting enough to just watch and never watch any of our videos ever again?
Yeah.
Or is it video where you have to be committed to our regular channel content? Because I'll tell you right now, my videos that I upload, they're like, Total War Warhammer Strategies, 30,000 to 40,000 views. I play Gladius for an hour. 30 views. Not 30,000, 30.
Yeah. I mean, it's also a thing of like,
I may be adding a couple zeros there. Anyways.
Like, Let's Plays in general have been kind of pushed off because people complained a lot when Let's Plays were favored by the algorithm, so they made it so the algorithm was biased against Let's Plays, and then Twitch became a big thing. So now it's this whole thing where Let's Plays are only really lucrative for growth if you want to stream them. At which point you can
on top of that, up until they just recently updated the policy on language, for a good little while there, Duty didn't want you saying any bad words. LPs usually are done by vulgar capital G gamers.
Yeah.
And I know that I am calling the kettle black there. I take offense to the title of capital G gamer, but I have been very vulgar on several of our videos.
But here's the thing,
and it's funny.
You're vulgar, but you're not a capital G gamer because you're not completely racist, or at all. Really.
Yeah, I was about to say I'm not a racist
like
or a homophobe or a sexist.
Yeah, like, you know. My point, I know. Anyway.
Some days we malign Mike a bit too much, and I
Yeah.
worry that if someone watches the video, they'll think Mike's like legitimately hateful. Like, no, he's just ignorant.
Yeah. Willfully so, but you know.
Hey, he can't. If he wants to be defended, he should step in and defend himself, bitch.
Yeah.
Tech issues, smack issues. Get in here, pussy.
I mean, I did send him like a list of things that he could try to fix his tech issues, so.
I haven't talked to him about the tech issues. I also haven't talked about him with him. Mike, it's time we talked about you. It's time we talked about you.
I'm imagining this fucking serious call out post like, Mike, we have to talk about you. And he's like, what's wrong? So what you doing?
Yes. Like curling my hair with my fingers. Oh boy.
Anyway, so yeah. So Pink, is that all that's coming out on your channel?
Yes, that should be everything that's coming out on my channel.
All right. Well, as for mine, I have started scripting a review. It is, I wanna say, 60% done. I did something revolutionary. I took notes.
Oh, you do that?
And wouldn't you know, it made no difference. It made no difference at all. Like it makes some difference in that editing should be easier in theory because I have time codes written down for the stuff that I'm referencing in the the source raw footage. But like past that, I was like, man, I hope that I will be able to make it so the reviews last a bit longer though. Then because 5-minute reviews are fine, but if I'm putting in the effort, then I want to make something that is that actually has some heft to it.
Some girth.
Like it's a thing of like, I don't want to spend 15 hours on a video that's 3 minutes long. So
Yeah.
Why not?
Which is exactly what happened with my last review, by the way. Like
That's the correct answer to not answer that at all.
But yeah, like that's exactly what happened with the last review. It was like 3.5 minutes, maybe at most. If we count the end screen, which is like 10 seconds in itself, at least. And that video took me like something like 15 hours to edit, just because, going through footage mainly, honestly. So I'll be looking forward to seeing how this changes my my workflow and seeing if it speeds it up or not. Because if not, then oh boy,
Yeah.
then I don't know what to do. But yeah, I did script stuff out. The script is, as I've said, mostly written, so it should be done in a week or two. I don't know. I'm honestly not really rushing it because I kind of have to. I have to be in the mood to write. If I'm not feeling like I like writing, then I can try and force myself to, but it just won't work. And like, shit's supposed to be entertaining, mainly. But yeah. Man, yeah.
Just the other day, Masahiro Sakurai uploaded a video where he said if he doesn't feel motivated to work, he imagines there's a bomb that's going to go off in his bedroom if he doesn't work.
Like inspiration is a weird thing like that, because sometimes I don't feel like writing or whatever, and then I just start doing it, and it then I can actually get into the meat of it because things start up. But a lot of times in the couple of years that I haven't been uploading, I've tried to write stuff. I've scripted entire videos, recorded the audio, was editing the video, and then I went, this shit sucks, and then I scrapped it. Like, and you know that's just a
Honestly,
real
I
big.
think
Yeah.
part of it is the same impulse that has where when you're looking into a fire, a part of your brain goes, dive in,
Yeah.
eat the fire.
But yeah, like a part of it is definitely a part of the problem is definitely just my perfectionism of I want to make the best quality product that I can, and that's an achievable goal because shit will go wrong. Just in general, shit will go wrong. But also, like, you know, I tend to take the stance of like this older thing that people that I used to watch used to say, where, like, you know, if you don't enjoy the stuff that you're making, if you look at the video and you go, I wouldn't watch this, how can you expect other people to watch it? And like if I'm halfway into editing a video and then I watch the stuff that's finished already back and I go, this thing is boring, I want it to be over, then I feel like that's a pretty good sign that I should just torch everything and start over.
Ah,
I'm not sure I can relate because I love all my videos, and they don't get views. It's messed up,
the
yo.
trouble, the trouble is that you can't really achieve the perfection you're seeking unless you already have loads of money and investment into what you're doing.
I thought you were gonna say unless you have a lot of money and investors, which honestly that's also true.
The what I think of, and just as an example of someone who actually was successful at their career, enough to, anyways, someone who actually was successful at their career, my dad started out as a mechanic, right?
Yeah.
And there is one particular brand of tools that is the best, Snap-on. But generally speaking, you can only really get Snap-on from distributors and salesmen that actually go around to various mechanic shops, right?
Yeah.
And Addy, I know your brother-in-law is also a mechanic, and I could hear you getting ready to say something. So shoot.
No.
Oh, okay.
Like it is,
The,
here's the list of things I know about cars. They have wheels.
so
Generally, you don't want to run people over with them. Generally.
In most cases.
generally, yes. It depends on who they are, though.
Yeah.
So while there are a variety of cheap store-bought, well, he always calls them Chinese tools, but I don't imagine they have to necessarily be made in China. They generally aren't very good. They don't last very long. They tend to snap pretty easily. And on top of that, because they also bend pretty easily, that also means that they can't get as much torque in many situations, that kind of thing. My dad's a big believer that saying, you know, only a bad mechanic blames his tools. My dad's a big believer that saying is bullshit. And he's probably a more successful mechanic than the guy who actually made that saying. But because Snap-on tools are not only way more expensive than store-bought tools, but also you can really only get them if you're already a mechanic and the distributor has come to the shop you work at. You can't start off working with the best tools. Like, legitimately, you can't. Even in your first couple months, you probably won't be able to afford the full set of Snap-on tools. You just kind of got to accept that you're going to be starting as an amateur.
Mm-hmm.
Or, you know, every couple months on Twitter, there'll be one person who gets in there is like, all right, if you want to start LPing properly, you got to buy this mic and this mic set and this Elgato and this soundboard and this processing. Get a secondary computer to handle all your visual processing. And then the actually successful YouTubers will step in and say, no, don't do that, because if you don't actually end up being successful, you'll have wasted a bunch of money. Just do whatever the fuck you feel like doing, whatever you want to do. And if you want to go professional, wait until people actually start watching your shit.
Yeah.
Also get another job to actually support it.
Yeah. And I mean, even like the most successful people that I can think of that are streamers and stuff like that. Like one of the most successful streamers I watch has shut down multiple times throughout the past, I want to say 3 or 4 years. Shut down multiple people being like, just buy a second computer to stream from. He's just like, it's a waste. I don't have that much electricity in the house.
Yeah.
I can do it with one good PC. Why should I buy a second one?
Yeah.
But that guy got unlucky because like back to back he got like I wanna say 3 graphics cards that melted while he was streaming.
Oh boy.
Yeah, the first one was a legit like production issue, and the manufacturer sent him a second one. That one I think just burnt out or something like that.
Huh.
Very unlucky. But anyway. So yeah, then on my second channel, on Tuesday I want to say, I don't remember honestly, but the edited version of my last stream is coming along well, but I could salvage of it all, like 20 minutes. that were both funny and actually had like footage that you can see.
My God.
Then, on Fridays, once again, I'm posting the shorter videos. I wouldn't mind making them into shorts, just so YouTube would throw my shit at people. But I don't know how to do that, so I won't. No matter how many times YouTube sends me emails going like, "Hey, make shorts."
It's funny they send me emails saying make shorts. I don't know what it means.
You every second Tuesday, YouTube sends me an email saying make shorts. They're easy and comfy to wear.
Yeah. Once you're really good at shorts, consider moving on to jorts.
Yeah.
What if one day on April Fool's this year, YouTube announces their new feature, YouTube jorts?
if you put your YouTube jorts on, then your channel gets a +1 to invisibility.
Yeah.
No, actually, no. The random channels will get jorts given to them by the algorithm, which gives them +1 invisibility. They just get pushed down the algorithm. Fuck you.
Mysteriously, now all YouTube channels where someone has said a racial or homophobic slur are now marked as YouTube jorts.
So is every channel run by a gay person. Not any of the other LGBTQ people, just gay people.
They also put gay in their title. It's like how you can't have a YouTube video about racism be explicit upfront about the fact that it's about racism, even if it's anti-racism, because you put racism in the title, so YouTube goes no.
Yeah.
That's so damn funny because it's done for advertiser purposes, and you'd think most advertisers would be kosher, if not actively prefer to be on the video about how racism is bad.
Yeah. So yeah. Anyway, W, your channel.
I can't entirely predict it. We are getting closer and closer to Chaos Dwarf time. That is going to be an exciting trailer. I will probably post GIFs from it because the Chaos Dwarfs are some of the most unique aesthetics in the Warhammer world. And that one cafe GIF I had on the forum back in the day apparently went over well. So hey, I will be putting up a video when that trailer releases. Can't guarantee it'll be this week, but every week it's guaranteed to happen in March. So every week of March that passes, they said starting with mid-March. So this week is going to be the first one where there's a possibility of seeing mysterious satanic Babylonian dwarfs. And as the weeks of March go by, the higher the odds get of seeing mysterious satanic Babylonian dwarfs.
I just wish that this like they would do this, but that every like you just see random Sega uploads, and random Sega uploads there's just a chance that there's a Chaos Dwarf with the full gnome ooh sound.
Yeah. Well, he makes the full gnome sound, but it sounds deeper and satanic. Ooh.
Yeah.
And he just sticks out like a person catcher, and he grabs someone out of the trailer to take back as a slave.
Yeah.
He pops up in the Sonic trailer. Sonic saves some, other hedgehog OC guy. And the OC guy's like, thanks, Sonic! And he starts to walk off screen, and you just hear, whoa! And a fucking claw comes in and grabs the guy by the neck.
Yeah.
Yakuza, Kiryu meets with, I don't know, an investor or something. It's probably Ishin, so... Yeah,
Well, no, it
Chaos
would
Wolf,
be... It would
the
be...
tongue looks different!
Yeah. I think it would be 8 by now. I think Ishii released like 2 weeks ago.
Oh. Was he gonna steal one of the dude's party members?
He's gonna steal Ichiban outright. That's the story of Yakuza 8. Kiryu is back as the playable character because Ichiban was fucking stolen by a Chaos Dwarf.
And then they're knowing Crib Assembly now participating in Sega crossover so much with whatever weird bullshit shooter they're also doing. You'll probably get a random event sometimes when playing Chaos Dwarfs. I don't know, we kidnapped this crazy Nipponese dude with an afro and he's just beating people up. Should we just get rid of him? He seems to think he's some kind of Dragon Quest dude. I don't get it. We don't have any dragons. What the fuck? Anyway, so there will be that. I also want to record more Gladius. I'm having a good time recording that. Having a very casual game, which I know isn't very exciting for viewers. I don't care. I'm mostly kicking back and farming. I have a firm perimeter wall established of mechs and big guns, as is typical for the Tau. And I am just building up my cities. It is great. It's a funny position with Gladius with this kind of thing, because I know the AI has a tendency to spam cities needlessly. And Gladius, you guys have already seen a bit of Gladius. I'd love to bring you guys back in for more Gladius. Maybe later today. And Gladius, when you build a city, it causes every city, including the city you just built, to take a loyalty hit. Which is quite similar to, for instance, Civ 5 has a lot of also brutal things for you, discouraging you from settling new cities. So players generally know, okay, unless you're a race like the Tau, who has some kind of in-game tech or hero that can counteract those loyalty debuffs, you generally want to build a few tall cities rather than going wide and just spamming cities like a maniac. That doesn't stop the AI. And when you get to the late stages of Gladius, where you've got a big army with a bunch of crazy-ass sky-scraping mechs that can evaporate cities by looking at them, it very quickly turns into just marching across the landscape, seeing the tiniest shitty little cities that the AI has built, and just eating them. And Pink, you also probably know this from times playing Civ 5 or 6 as a domination, and seeing where the AI also in Civ loves building shitty little cities that you just end up eating.
Yep.
And it's so bizarre to see that in Civ 5, especially because Civ 5 really doesn't fucking like for you to get above 5 or 6 cities unless you're playing Gandhi, really.
Right.
Which I actually wanted to ask you. That's the extent of what's coming out on my channel, so we're done with that. We can move on to what you did with your week. But I want to ask you before then, because you are the leading Civ expert now. You have easily surpassed myself and Soon.
Oh, nice. I like it.
Other than the Mayans, who are the tall civs in Civ 6 that you want to found less cities and pump more into those cities? Japan? Hojo?
Hojo's Japan is very good. Let's see. Let me grab my phone and pull up the list of civs to make sure I'm not forgetting anyone. Anyway,
Giant Varmin?
Yes.
Varmin can get
Giant
pretty
Varmin
tall,
of the Khmer is a very, very good tall civ, but he can also go super wide. It doesn't really affect him in any negative way to do either or. So he's
I guess that's always kind of the
Yeah.
guess that's always kind of the case with population bonus. Civs that get population and growth bonuses, isn't it?
Yep. And then he gets the extra amenities when he builds aqueducts, so that helps him get tall and keep everybody happy at the same time.
Oh, Scotland. Scotland's super
Scotland,
tall,
yeah,
aren't they?
is super favorable for the tall playstyle, and
Because you
they
really
suffer
want to
greatly
gather
from the
amenities and
wide.
only pump them into like 3 or 4 cities, right?
Yep, yep. Maya, Scotland, New Congo is a very good tall civilization.
Lady Congo?
Yep, Lady Congo. Old Congo is maybe also good for tall, but I have no idea because Old Congo was always so weird to me and I never understood it. I played several games as a Congo. Completed several games as a Congo. Still don't really understand how the Congo works or what their best playstyle is.
Yeah. So with like the wide civs, you generally, of course, there's several civs that just have wide abilities that are explicitly built for wide.
Yeah.
But you'd also want to stay away from civs that are specifically built around like, here's our unique building. It is super fucking good and the entire core of our playstyle. Because those guys, you just want to eat more and more tiles so you can build more and more of your unique building, correct?
Yeah.
Like, for instance, the Nubians are very wide because they want to spam those damn pyramids everywhere.
Yep. Yep. There's also a great tall civilization is Korea
Oh,
because
yeah.
they've got all those great districts and they get the culture and science percentage based bonuses based on the governors they have slotted and all their promotions as well. So they can get stupid good outputs on their cities. But also, again, you run into that issue of while they're a really great tall civ, they've also got a super cheap campus district that is always a guaranteed +4 science. So why not also go wide and just put a Seowon in every city, regardless of whether it's beneficial or not?
Yeah. What about the Maori?
Maori actually aren't a great tall civilization. They are the quintessential wide ones, if or at least they used to be, in my opinion.
Oh,
They did get nerfed pretty hard a couple years ago, so they're not quite as wide centric as they used to be. But old Maori, it used to be just plant your capital, pump out a settler, go plant another city in another continent, keep pumping out more, keep planting more, and just completely overcome the world before anyone can catch up to you. It was nice. It was stupid.
yeah.
Um, oh, China. China, specifically Yangla. He's a great tall civilization, and he's got tons of benefits for playing tall and tons of advantages to playing tall to getting that high population to take
I was
advantage
about
of
to
the benefit.
say,
Yep.
I guess the tall ones would be the ones who focus specifically from get more resource sources from more pops.
Yep.
And conversely, who would you say are really the wide plays in Civ 5 other than Gandhi?
In Civ 5, I think the Aztec can go a little bit wider than most because their culture from kills helps them not fall behind in the policy. What do they call it in the Civ 5? Policy. It's not a tree. Well, I guess it kind of is a tree. We'll call it a policy tree. The social policies. It makes sure the Aztec aren't falling behind in the social policies, which are all really powerful at really important points of the game. So with the Aztec, even if you've got that cultural penalty from having more than the 5 cities, you're not going to suffer too bad if you're at war with other civilizations or if you're slaughtering a lot of barbarians, because
Yeah,
all that culture from kills will help you make up the lost culture from settling more cities than the game would like you to.
yeah.
I think. Hmm.
I've
Trying to
heard
think if
some people say America is good for it just because they have so much ability to eat tiles.
Yeah, that is true. I want to say, not really a great civilization in Civ 5, and I don't see them topping many tier lists that I've looked up, but Indonesia, they get their unique amenities whenever they settle on a different continent. So that actually helps them go a bit wider than normal. It doesn't stop them from losing out on the yield gains from having fewer cities, but it does make sure that their citizens aren't going into unhappiness territory. They're usually going to remain in the black when it comes to plus happiness.
Yeah.
So Indonesia is good for going a bit wider than normal because they've got the extra amenities. Um, I think that's about it. Maybe Siam because they've got those unique benefits from city states, and I think you can get extra happiness from that as well, but I'm not sure. But there's not a lot of Civs in Civ 5 where it's really optimal ever to go wider than the 5 or 6 cities.
Yeah. All right. With all that said, Pink, what you been up to this week, man?
No, first the group channel.
Oh, right. You're
We
right.
skipped the group channel?
Yeah.
How dare we?
So, on Monday, get ready. Strap in. Fire Pro.
Yeah.
Fire Pro? I don't recall playing that ever.
Then on Friday, Mortal Kombat.
No, I definitely didn't play that, and that's not a joke.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, we could if it's on Game Pass and you want to, but like,
But I don't.
Alright. That's settled then. So yeah, that's the group channel. Oh wait, also fighting games are.
Yes. They
Oh,
will
yeah.
be.
So Pink, your week.
My week. Um. Uh. Well, I got Civ 5 to work this morning after it wouldn't. Well, last night
Nice.
and this morning.
Woohoo.
Because apparently some files were missing. I don't know how. I don't know why. I don't know how that happens at all. But yeah, I went and re-verified everything, and it fixed the problem. So that was a relief. I remember a couple months back, I had the same issue where I would go to launch Civ 5, and then it would pretend to launch, but then it just not launch. And yeah, this just tends to happen every couple of months. I don't understand it. I don't know what the issue is. But it's fixed, and I've been tinkering around with that this morning. It's fun. I like it. Civ 5's a good game. Big fan. Let's see. I honestly, there's not really anything else I did this week. Dead by Daylight had their latest chapter come out last week, maybe this week. Picked that up for me and Mike because we're a bunch of nerds. And
Is Mike back to playing Dead by Daylight?
he's playing. His technical issues are still prevalent.
How?
Yeah. So not as much fun as it could be, but still pretty fun. Came with a brand new killer, which was a shock. Was not expecting that. And then it also had 2 survivors, which was even more of a shock because I'm not used to 2 survivors. And this comes off the heels of not their most recent DLC, but the DLC before that. I thought it was the most recent DLC because I skipped the previous chapter. But yeah, new survivors, they've got terrible perks. I don't even remember how most of them work. There's one that is similar to Prove Thyself, where if you finish a gen with somebody else helping you finish it, then you both get like a movement buff while you're within proximity to one another.
That
And
sounds like Heather's weird buff.
yeah, it's exactly that, but you just have to finish a generator with somebody rather than healing to somebody.
By the way, shout out to the fact that I still can't decide whether to call her Cheryl or Heather or sometimes even Alessa, and it's really just up to you to decipher which of the three, like, which of the three names am I using right now? Let's hope there's not anyone else in the game named Heather or Alessa. Honestly, you're lucky I'm not calling her James.
So, Blood Pact is the name of that perk, and I think in order to activate that one, it has to be you healing the Obsession, and then you and the Obsession get the speed buff, whereas this latest perk, you don't have to heal the Obsession, and the character finishing the gen does not have to be the Obsession, so it's actually... everybody can benefit from it, but it's harder to execute.
I remember I tried so hard with Dead by Daylight to actually play each character's perks, but boy, if I ever go back, I'm not gonna lie, I'm probably just gonna start putting Dead Hard on people.
Right. That is... it is such an unfortunate kind of a gameplay decision to have it where you can mix and match perks, and all the perks, they're so all over the place. They're not in any decent balanced state, and that's kind of disappointing because...
well, if they made it where you could only play the perks of a character on that character, everybody would play David.
That it's just there's so much that
David has two of the best perks in the game and also another perk.
Actually, not anymore. He's got Dead Hard, and his only other good one was only good for the blood points, and now that one's kind of ass because they took that away.
Oh, right, he had that, right.
And
no
then his
mither,
final one is No Mither, which is terrible.
Which is a great meme perk, I gotta say.
But
like, and it's not even like, it'd be one thing if they are deliberately building the game around power creep and making each new DLC of perks better than the last. That'd be one thing. It's the fact that most of the DLC perks also suck.
Yeah.
Like, almost all the best perks are vanilla perks.
Yeah. That is 100% accurate. If you were to Google up the list of the most popular and most powerful perks in the game right now, like half of the perks would be available free on the 4 OG characters. And then like maybe one additional perk that was DLC later down the line. And that goes for
even then, those would be
too.
on the chick that came with the doctor.
What was that?
I said and all the good DLC perks are on the chick that came with the doctor.
Oh yeah. And those are free on console.
Oh shit. Like, it's 100% like, okay, just fuck it, play Dwight. There you go. You've already got 3 of the best perks in the game. There you go.
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's so frustrating because there are hundreds of perks. And there's only maybe a dozen ones that are considered really competitively viable.
Yep.
That is insane to me. And like the killers of Memory Servers have a much better variety that actually have, like, there seem to be actual choice with the killers. Especially now that they got rid of Barbecue's blood point boost, right?
Yes. And
good. As soon as they did that, in my mind I went, good, time to go around and take Barbecue off all my fucking killers.
Yep. The killers, they've got a much better variety of perks to choose from. There's a lot more variation and choices that you can make that actually impact the game. Like last night, I was playing the newest killer to be released, and they had it. I think you were still playing when they introduced this update, but they have it where you can make loadouts now, so you can swap between 3 different loadouts.
Nope, that came after I stopped.
Oh, that's a shame. So they've got the 3 different loadouts now that you've stopped playing, and I was literally just spending the night tinkering with loadouts. I did a match where I was all chase focus perks. I did one where they were all obsession based perks, and I did one where they were all end game focused perks. It's a wide variety of stuff you can do with the killer. And then you go to play Survivor, and it's like, well, if I really want to win, I can select these 3 perks and a 4th one that is interchangeable. But if I want to have some fun and meme around a bit, I can choose literally anything else in the game. It'll be fine.
I was about to say, like, I would just have to go through on all the survivors and set up 2 loadouts. The loadout for I actually want to have a different feeling while playing today and feel some variety, or I want to win.
That's exactly how it is, and the survivor side is so frustrating right now because
And
if
it's
you're not
the team-based
taking
one.
Yeah.
Like, memeing around as the killer is funny, because at the end of the day, if I just get my shit pushed in, and the survivors run away with the game easily, there's a bit of embarrassment, but unless it's like really asshole survivors that then go afterwards, ha ha, you suck, kill yourself, odds are I'm probably just gonna go, whatever. Survivor,
Right.
though, like, even if it's just a team of you, me, Mike, and Soon, or Addy. Addy, hopefully you don't ever have to join DBD again. I don't want to wish that torture upon you. Like, if I take the meme build, it's like, okay, I'm dragging the team down. Great. If I don't take Die Hard, Dead Hard, and prove thyself and whatever the fuck else, then I am actively hobbling everyone else. Because those perks are just so much better than anything else. Like, prove thyself in particular. Just take it. Don't fucking even think about it.
Yeah.
It is better than any perk.
Yeah.
It is honestly just the win more, win harder perk.
Exactly.
Oh boy. Alright. Anything else, Pink?
No, I still have not watched Wakanda Forever.
Okay.
Your weekly update. Wakanda Forever has been delayed once again.
Wakanda never.
Wakanda never.
Addy!
Well, what the fuck did I do?
What did you do, Addy?
What have you done?
Why?
I played Scarlet Nexus.
What is that?
What?
It's on PS Plus. It's a Vamco game. I installed it.
Van Gogh game?
Vamco, Bandai Namco.
Bamco, okay.
It's a game developed by Van Gogh. Yeah.
Gourmet?
So I downloaded Scarlet Nexus because they added it to PS Plus, and I went, hey, that looks like a game. So I load the game up. I played the tutorial. I go, this game feels bad, and then I uninstalled it.
Alright.
I
game.
like it.
Then they also added Code Vein to PS Plus. Code Vein is anime Dark Souls.
Yeah, but it feels way worse.
Yep.
No, that dude, I played the actual Souls games. That game feels stinky.
I'd say it's on par with Neo. So,
Okay, well you see, I was thinking like the actual FromSoft Souls games.
yeah.
Neo, I thought Neo felt better though.
No, like every single action RPG I have played, all of them have felt no, all of them. Never mind, all of them have felt stinky to control. It's just the various depths of stink. And Code Vein to me didn't feel any different to Neo. Didn't really feel any different to Bloodborne in that sense. And by this I don't mean the attacks. I mean the actual just movement through the world, just going from point A to B, walking. Like there's certain.
Code Vein to me felt like I was on ice skates.
That's how all action RPGs feel to me. All of them.
Like
the
Neo.
Yeah.
Neo felt a bit like Bloodborne, but you're a bit slower and the enemies are a little bit faster. Which is brutal, by the way, and is part of why Neo is such a fucking brutal game. But Code Vein, it honestly just kind of felt like the way dashing works in that game just felt a little bit slippy, you know?
I guess. I didn't really feel it, but once again, like literally in every action RPG I have played, including Kingdom Hearts, which I like, the actual like controlling the character, the just moving from point A to B, maybe jumping sometimes, feels bad. It always feels too like it feels too responsive and not responsive enough at the same time. And this is a problem
that
that
is bizarre. I definitely would not say Kingdom Hearts is a game where the movement feels bad.
like just once again the mere act of just walking on the ground. It feels a bit too whatchamacallit.
Well,
Like
I
it
wouldn't
feels
call it whatchamacallit, but it's your
it, it feels like characters turn on a dime, but at the same time it also kind of it feels like they're still trying to walk through tank controls. If that makes sense.
Kingdom Hearts can have some oddities between the movement and the camera because it was one of the earliest games to kind of do that.
Yeah, but
I mean, shit.
Yeah.
One too long before then, like it's easy to forget that it was probably only about 5 years before Kingdom Hearts 1 came out that we were still playing Mario 64 and fucking Ocarina of Time.
Yeah, I mean, like the thing with Kingdom Hearts is you have to keep in mind the original release of Kingdom Hearts 2. The camera was controlled by the shoulder buttons because that's how old the game is.
Yeah.
So, but like my point
We like it that way.
But my point is that Bloodborne, just movement-wise, didn't feel any different to me than Kingdom Hearts. In the fact that the player character felt like they were turning on a dime while still being tank controls. They immediately turned when I pressed the button, but at the same time it felt like I had to wait for them to actually start walking.
Yeah, there's a little bit of startup animation to walking in many games, and I can see where that'd be awkward a lot of the time, but I'm just kind of used to it.
But yeah,
I would say Bloodborne. I would say which game has the better controls entirely depends on whether or not you're locked on.
Yeah.
That's funny. Kingdom Hearts, Bloodborne. There's not many games where I'm more precise with my controls than with dashing in Bloodborne. But you remember on Bloodborne, you only dash when you're locked on.
Yeah.
And then you get very slippery, sloppy dodge rolls, in which case Kingdom Hearts has the upper hand. Not only because Kingdom Hearts has a faster dodge roll, but also because Kingdom Hearts has way more air maneuverability, of course.
Yeah.
Which even then you get into like Elden Ring, which suddenly adds air maneuverability to the Souls formula as well, and also a horse.
But yeah, like basically my point is, Code Vein to me, controls-wise, didn't feel any different to any other action RPG I have ever played. It feels just as better as any of them. So.
Well, what I specifically mean was like the way dashing worked.
Yeah. Yeah. Dashing.
That's always what.
Yeah.
Like I usually when I say movement in that kind of combat-focused game, I don't necessarily mean like world movement, how it feels to just walk through the world. I mean like movement in the actual combat.
Yeah. When I talk about movement, I pretty much just strictly talk about world movement, and then if I need to talk about stuff like dashing, then I point out separately.
Yeah.
Because to me, world movement to me is important because that's how I interact with the world most of the time. You'll be surprised to find out. But yeah,
it depends a lot on how much platforming a game really needs, how much I worry about that.
Yeah.
And does it feel like it takes forever for me to get to a given place? So, for instance, I don't really worry about that in Kingdom Hearts because Kingdom Hearts, like I said, has good air maneuverability, so it feels fun to travel throughout the world, especially once you unlock the ability to fly.
Yeah.
And Bloodborne and Dark Souls, I don't really worry that much about world movement because you unlock because there's fast travel. Though fast travel is unlockable in Dark Souls 1, which is hilarious. Platforming used to fucking suck before Elden Ring, though. Let me tell you, holy shit!
I know. I know. I went to the secret cemetery in the tower. I know.
That one I can live with because it's not so much platforming as it is
falling with style.
Yeah, I was about to say focused falling, but dude, there are spots in some of the Dark Souls games where you have to actually use the game's shitty jump mechanic. And in Dark Souls 1 and Bloodborne, it's at its worst. Because the way you jump in those games is hold B to sprint, and then while holding B, very quickly double tap B to jump. But you have to press the input for jump while your character is still in the sprinting phase.
Yeah.
And thank God for Dark Souls 2 and 3, which made it where you can just jump while sprinting by pressing down on the left stick.
Yeah.
Thank God.
That's
and
what
Elden Ring added the mysterious and forbidden jump button.
Yeah.
Well, technically Sekiro did, but Sekiro's a little bit of the odd one out in the Souls games. Everybody knows that.
But yeah, like with Code Vein, I guess our experiences will also differ just because you use dashes and all that. In Code Vein, I was trained by Neo. Neo was my first well-regarded Souls game, technically.
Yeah.
And because of that, my mind isn't dodge. My mind is block or parry. Those are your options. You dodge if you must, but otherwise, whatever.
Dodge if you must, parry if you can.
Yeah, pretty much. And
block if I let you.
And Code Vein is different to other Souls games in that because Code Vein's main gimmick is changing the parry timing because you can choose which sort of parry you have. All of them are the same in the end. It's just which cutscene do you like the most?
I'm in a weird spot where, like, even in this Dark Souls games, in Dark Souls 1 and to a lesser degree 2, shields are super good. Dark Souls 3, shields are still kind of okay. But I'm really used to not only playing Bloodborne, where shields are garbage, but also, when I do play the mainline Dark Souls, I tend to, first things first, unequip the shield and usually either dual wield of some kind, or two-hand a sword. So for me, blocking is just not a thing I do in the Souls games, and when I do try to play a classic knight build of, short sword and shield, I have to routinely remind myself, hey asshole, block.
Yeah. Yeah, like, once again, I think it's just a thing of like you actually like played the proper Souls games. My first proper Souls game was once again Neo. Neo is just like, hey, you know how you're currently holding 4 weapons? You can just block with all 4 of them at the same time. It's cool.
Yeah. Neo is so wildly different in that way, yeah, because there's only really 8 weapons, but they have skill trees attached, so you wind up unlocking loads of moves for them.
And all of the moves suck.
Yeah.
That's not fair, but at the same time, the unlocking your moveset and all that didn't really feel great in either of the Neos.
Yeah, I wasn't a fan.
I mean,
it helps with Souls, but there's particularly the thing of go through and try all the weapons you pick up. At some point, you're going to find some weapon with some crazy attack that you're a big fan of.
Yeah, I mean, like, I'll just note that, I don't like Souls games. Neo was the first proper Souls game I played. My favorite Souls game that I've played is still Bloodborne. So,
Yeah.
Like,
I mean, Bloodborne especially is like, there's 20 weapon types. They are all wildly different. Each of them is someone's favorite,
Yeah.
Which you were a big fan of the 2 daggers, right? That you get from Eileen? Oh, I thought you were a big dagger fan.
No, I would be because I generally like daggers in action RPGs or just RPGs in general. I like roguish people. I like daggers. Wow, something teeth.
Yeah.
Anyway, yeah. No, in Bloodborne, my weapon of choice was the axe.
The axe is a winner.
And
the
the
axe is
flintlock.
definitely a winner.
And
the axe is a funny one because there are so many enemies in that game that will try to armor through every other weapon, but you just smack them in the face with a big axe and they just get flattened on their ass.
Yeah.
And of course, it's got spin.
Yeah, and like I tried out the other weapons too. Like I tried out the sword, which is scabbard is also another sword, and stuff like that. None of them really fit, so I just beat the entire game with nothing but the axe, pretty much.
My first playthrough of Bloodborne, I did pretty well all of it with the threaded cane.
Pain.
I think by the end I switched to the Moonlight Greatsword, but And I mean, that's just kind of how it is with Souls games inherently, is like, there are some people who will be like, oh man, I love the Tonitrus. And I'll just be like, you mean that heavy piece of shit that does no damage? Yeah, you keep on liking that, Chief.
Yeah.
Then you see a guy actually do good work with it, and you're just like, what the fuck?
Yeah, I love the flamethrower. You know, the one that's ranges
The
like
flamethrower's hilarious.
Like if memory serves from when I tried the flamethrower, the range of the flamethrower was like, you know, 15 feet behind you, and then, so you get set on fire, but not the enemy. And then it deals 5 damage to the enemy, but 30 to you every tick.
Yeah, I want to say there is some stuff that goes on with the flamethrower. The flamethrower, I think the big perk was that you could actually move while still using it.
Yeah.
Which was especially funny on some enemies that would just keep slowly advancing towards you while you slowly walk backwards, just spitting fire in their face.
But yeah. Oh yeah, I was talking about Code Vein, I forgot. But yeah, so to close out on Code Vein, I gave the game a chance. It had big story, more story than most Souls. I didn't care. It's very generic, like army anime. There's a reason I can't watch Gundam. There's a very good reason I can't watch things like Gundam, even though generally I wouldn't hate them. It's just like it's the same reason that I can't watch most action movies. It's just okay. Our army person, John Army, is here to save the day, and he will fucking do it. Buy the books. God damn it. Second Lieutenant Blue Balls, John Army is here.
Oh.
And Code Vein tried to be different because post-apocalypse and all that, but it's ever so slightly different. It's just it's instead of the actual U.S. Army, it's NCR. Wow. They also had the whole vampire thing going on in Code Vein and all that, but like, you know, they had ideas. None of them gelled, in my opinion. None of them definitely none of them gelled with me. So
Yeah.
I ended up uninstalling that too because I just don't care. Like oh yeah, the thing that made me uninstall the game. I got the achievement for having seen all of the weapon types, and I didn't like any of them.
Oh boy.
Yeah.
That's a depressing achievement to get.
That was when I went, oh, I guess there is nothing for me in this game. Like the whole idea of having an AI companion throughout the whole thing, or playing it co-op and being able to stifle each other's health when they need it and all that, seems interesting. But not interesting enough to put up with the gameplay, honestly.
Yeah.
Just a bit too Souls for me. A bit too boring. Just like what you expect out of Souls. Otherwise. So yeah, there's that. Then Kingdom Hearts. I was able to resume my second playthrough. I want to say 2/3 done with the game. It's been 10 hours.
Wait, what Kingdom Hearts game are you playing?
1.
Again?
Yeah, I started going through 1 to check how long the playthrough is for future reference. You know, now that I actually know stuff. Like I wanted to do it for 1 and 2.
That depends on if you want to get all the Dalmatians and go back and kill Kurt Zisa and the Phantom with the clock tower. The Phantom with the cock towel.
Yeah. And
if
the Ice
you want
Golem.
to do the arena stuff.
But yeah, like my first
oh boy, I'm not gonna have time to do it in the coming months. But man, at some point I do need to go back and kill Kurt Zisa and the Phantom of the Cock Towel, because I have beat Sephiroth, so I know I can do it.
Yeah, like the reason I'm doing this is just to be like, hey, can I beat this game fast enough to warrant an actual playthrough somewhere? I don't know if it's gonna be on this channel or my channel. I'll do it somewhere eventually, but I want to know what
Kingdom
I'm.
Hearts is a bad one to record.
Yeah.
With that said, I would go ahead and say if we ever do Kingdom Hearts, that would have to be you and me, not Pink.
I mean,
like, if we were ever going to do... I think we could stand to have a little bit of, like, more of a focus when we do that kind of LP model on throw the game at the person who hasn't played it, and whoever has played it will co-commentate, just because it's so much easier to do it that way while still making it fun and interesting, you know?
Yeah, I mean, like, my idea of it was to, if Pink is interested, to do a thing where he plays it if it's on Game Pass eventually. But, like, once again, it was a thing of, hey, I'm gonna play through the games, look at how long it is, then I'll suggest actually doing this, if the chance comes. Like, if I think it's actually doable.
Like, the way I see it, like, when we look over a lot of our longer-term playthroughs, there were more that I felt, you know, came off better and were more enjoyable to do. Like, Dead Space 2 was a lot of fun because I'd already played the game, so I could add a lot while you were experiencing it for the first time, so you could add a lot. And when there were times where the game got a bit hectic, I could generally cover for where you had to focus on the game.
Yeah.
Or alternatively, Ass Creed Brohood, which we never got around to finishing. We should probably go back and finish that one day.
I mean, you said that you wanted Pink and I to start another playthrough where Pink plays with that one, so I don't know what we're doing with that.
Does Pink have access to a copy of Ass Creed?
Yeah.
Yeah. I have the whole Ezio trilogy.
Oh, like, shit.
Twice.
So Pink, if you want, we can literally play through Ezio's life. We shouldn't. I'll say this right now. We shouldn't. But I could comment.
Revelations is terrible.
But I could comment it over all of it. Revelations is good as a personal story for Ezio and nothing else. It's a good cap for Ezio's story. It's a good way to end it, and then especially if you watch Embers after it, like those two working together are a very nice way to end Ezio, this character that you've seen from birth. But at the same time, aside from that, the only real contribution to the series it has is, hey, gypsies are canon, I guess.
I stopped playing Revelations about a quarter of the way in, if that. I was not a fan.
Yeah, Revelations has a long beginning, and then once you get into the meat of it, and once again, if you focus on Ezio's relationships with the characters and what happens to them rather than the actual like overarching plot of Suleiman. If you try to, you know, just pay attention to characters, to Ezio's character story and do the gameplay stuff, then the gameplay stuff can be fun, and Ezio's character is the best in my opinion in Revelations, at least for his playable stuff. But I also think it's funny that he just sets fire to an entire village at one point, so, you know, maybe I'm wrong. Anyway.
Michael Jordan approves.
Yeah. But yeah, like gameplay wise, Revelations is one of those games where I have a route mapped out in my head, and whenever I play it, I just play that route. So what I'm saying is, I've been speedrunning Assassin's Creed Revelations for years.
Oh man,
that's not true. But
dude, whenever PS Plus adds Dead Rising 1, that's gotta be a you and me thing.
Yeah. I mean, Dead Rising 1...
God.
Dead Rising 1 will probably be a series where you keep yelling at me while I shoot the escortees, and we fail the game.
Well, I'll tell you, there's only one time, really, where you have to mandatorily escort someone, and that one's easy, and you can't shoot them because you have to carry them.
Alright.
The Dead Rising 1 survivors are a pain in the ass. I will probably direct you in the direction of the easiest ones to escort, because I know, like, on a first playthrough in general, you want to avoid the harder scoops to do altogether. But on top of that, I know you have a shorter span of patience for dumb NPCs than I do, and even I get really fucking mad at the Dead Rising 1 survivors sometimes.
Ah.
I can also hit you with some hot tips that I wish somebody would have hit me with earlier.
Yeah.
Some of them Mike was generous enough to provide to me. For instance, the AI survivors behave better when you tell them actively where to go instead of just telling them to ambiguously follow you. If you tell them to follow you, they tend to get distracted with fighting the zombies, even though they suck at fighting zombies. They just go over and will shove one zombie repeatedly while 10 other zombies gather around and eat their assholes.
Fuck that zombie in particular.
Yeah.
It sucks.
Yeah.
But yeah, like there's a good number of games that I wouldn't mind doing like with either of y'all really. Where it's just like, you know, if it's on sale, then maybe pick it up and then we can do a thing with it. Cause like, for example, Dust Elysian Tale, a very good Metroidvania in my opinion, with a weird ass combo focus for its combat mechanic. So like it could be fun. I can't tell you to pick it up right now because I don't know what how much it is, and one of the problems with stuff like this is like I can recommend these games to y'all or something that we should record. I don't actually know if you'd enjoy this. Like both of you might enjoy Dust because it's a Metroidvania, and both of you like Metroids at least, if not Mania. But I know W likes Mania too, so.
So here's the thing. I actually had never played a Metroid game in my life until earlier this week when you were playing Civ 6. I finally got the Switch unpacked. It's been packed ever since we moved. I got it unpacked, got it charged up, and I kicked it on to go onto Super Nintendo. First I tried the original Metroid on Nintendo NES, Switch, whatever. You get the idea.
Yeah.
And boy, so many of the NES games are so primitive that I can't really enjoy them anymore. And Mike would kill me if he heard this. But Super Nintendo, I kicked on Super Metroid just to test it. Holy shit, just playing the first level of Super Metroid, I need to finish that game. I've heard down the years Super Metroid is one of the greatest games of all time. Yep. Holy shit, that game was so innovative for the Super Nintendo. Have you played Super Metroid, Pink?
I have.
Definitely.
I've played Super Metroid. I quote unquote played the original Metroid, and by that I mean I watched a speed run on YouTube. Then I tried to do the speed run by myself on the Switch because I got save states there and rewind features. So it was a lot of cheese, but yes, I've done them both. I've not yet finished Super Metroid myself, but I did quote unquote speed run very slowly, mind you, speed run the original Metroid.
Nice.
I mean, I just love they have that song that just plays that is indicating, yo, some creepy shit's about to happen, bro.
Mm-hmm.
I need to finish that game. I need to actually run through a lot of those Super Nintendo and Nintendo 64 classics, because holy shit.
Yeah,
I'll talk about that
I'm not on the super ultimate online subscription thing, so I don't have access to the N64 titles. But yeah, one of these days I need to upgrade. Once they get the GBA and Game Boy stuff online, then yeah, I'll probably
holy shit
boost that up.
I've been feeling like playing some Pokemon down the years. I'd be curious about visiting the original Pokemon.
I don't remember. Didn't they not add Pokemon and people were pissed about that to Game Boy?
They haven't added that yet. I assume down the line they will.
Yeah.
Wait, did they come out with a Nintendo Switch thing for Game Boy games yet? They already did? You guys were saying like they already did?
No, they've announced it.
No, it's not well, I don't think it's out yet, actually. But the initial lineup of titles that they're coming out with once that goes live, they already gave us a preview of what's to come, and the Pokemon games were not on the list.
Okay. That is kind of an odd one.
Yeah, it's an auto mission. To be sure.
But yeah, like going back to Metroid and Castlevania for a bit, like Metroidvania as a genre are weird to me because I don't like Metroid or Castlevania. I like Castlevania more, but I don't strictly like either of those. I like their spin-offs though. Like I was saying, I like the genre that they made. Weirdly enough, like I enjoy Metroidvanias that are not Metroid or Castlevania. I like Castlevania before it became a Metroidvania, and I just don't like Metroid. I've played the original. I played Super Metroid, and I've played the GBA one. Other M, maybe, I don't remember.
Yeah,
Other M was definitely not the Game Boy Advance one.
That's the isn't Other M the Wii game that ruined the franchise?
Yeah, probably.
Yes, Other M is the baby.
Fusion was the Game Boy Advance one.
Okay, yeah, then Fusion. I
Other M is the game where Samus cries when she sees Ridley and won't do anything without her commanding officer's approval. Addy, you would definitely know it from Super Best Friends. Other M is the baby, the baby, the baby,
yeah,
the baby,
I know.
the baby.
So yeah, like I don't know what it is with genres like that, because there's a couple where I like, and I either like, the thing with genres is I either like the originator of the genre or I like the spin-offs that it created. But I can't like both at the same time. Like run and guns, I like Contra.
Yeah.
That's it. Nah, but like Mega Man is a different run and gun. I don't enjoy it quite as much. Metroid, once again, different sort of run and gun. Like it's a Metroidvania, huh? But I don't even know what other like big name run and gun. Metal Slug, I guess I'm fine with. I can enjoy Metal Slug. But yeah. I guess with platformers too. Like I like platformers, the genre in general. I don't like Mario.
I'm
That
pretty
is an
sure
odd
that's
one,
a
yeah.
sin.
So it depends on the game.
I mean, in general, like I respect things like Super Mario Brothers and Super Mario World for the advancements they made, and just Super Mario Brothers in general, just bringing back video games as a thing. And like, I had some fun with it, but like I grew up with that thing. It's not this ancient relic to me. It's a part of my childhood. And so whenever I think of it, I think of, well, during my childhood I also had Adventure Island 2. Adventure Island 2 was was Super Mario Brothers, but better.
Yeah.
Because it had mounts. Like
It had mounds?
Yeah. Adventure Island 2 had dinosaurs that you could ride, and they changed the gameplay.
Oh.
Adventure Island 2.
Me Yoshi
Mario
was a
World had a
ripoff?
dinosaur you could ride. What are you talking about?
But only in World. This was before World. This was on the NES, Pink.
Oh, disgusting.
And not only was this before Yoshi, well, or at least before World, but there were like 8 of them, 8 different dinosaurs that did different things.
Oh.
So like there was one that could just fly. There was one that like there were both tiger shots of separate characters pretty much. You had a T-Rex that could fire. But I don't think you know if it was a T-Rex. It was more like a Triceratops on its hind legs. But whatever. You had one that fired a high fireball and one that fired a low fireball. You had just a seahorse that you could ride. That was the size of a man.
Nice.
My seahorse is amazing.
Give it a lick. It's just like raisin.
Yeah.
And I don't know if Hudson's Adventure Island 2 is on the Switch thing. If it is, y'all need to play that. Like, there's a couple games where I like them in retrospect because they were a big part of my childhood. I've always liked Hudson's Adventure Island 2, just regardless. Because like for other games, Battle City, I can't even describe to you what Battle City is because it's just dumb. Like, it's very basic. And the only way to play it today, as far as I know, is to buy a pack made by Bamco that costs like $30. And it's mostly just Galaga and either Galaxian or Battle City, which, like, you know, people...
Those games suck.
Like, and I'm pretty sure I'm one of like 10 people who prefer Galaxian to Galaga just because, well, I have nostalgia for one of these, but not the other. Because Galaga and Galaxian are the same game. Just one of them is in color, and the other isn't, if memory serves.
Eh.
Like, Galaga is the series that Galaxian evolved into, but Galaxian is the original Galaga, pretty much, as far as I understand. But yeah, enough of me being old.
Eh.
Yeah. Like, this is one of the like, whenever I go on a rant like this on NES stuff, I'm just like you know, I instantly turn 70.
Well, it's like, how does this keep happening when it's me and Pink here, and not Mike, who would actually be just as opinionated on this as you, and could actually share this discussion?
Because Mike keeps avoiding me.
That's true. He keeps ducking you, the bitch.
He's too afraid he'll catch the furry.
That's what it is. He knows deep down he's the same way.
Yeah. That's why he's in the middle of the woods.
Yeah.
So yeah, anyway. Where even... Oh yeah, Kingdom Hearts. So yeah, I'm playing Kingdom Hearts pretty much just to get her intel and see how fast I can do stuff, because then if I can do stuff fast, then it shouldn't take Pink too long with guidance.
I don't believe it, but I trust you. Except I don't.
The insert picture of Jake the Snake Roberts.
Yeah.
So yeah, that's been fun. Whenever I play Kingdom Hearts, I'm just like, why do I like Kingdom Hearts so much?
Yeah.
Like, this is a thing that I've noticed with IPs that I like, where, like, you know, sometimes the part of my brain that tries to, you know, the critical part of my brain looks at the thing and just goes, but why though? Like, I'm enjoying this
You
thing.
need to tell that part of your brain to shut up. I think you've got enough issues.
And I have yet to actually figure out, aside from I like it, there was something about Kingdom Hearts when I first saw like a video of it that I went, yes, this.
It's
this.
got a very fun, unique gameplay that's kind of... It's almost like... Well, the other day, I was seeing a video from Wooly and Pat where they're talking about Budokai Tenkaichi.
Yeah.
And it was a very funny video to watch, because Wooly was sitting there, and Wooly was actually kind of mauling. He was very mad. Like, okay, but why not a real fighting game, though? And Pat was going, dude, because Budokai Tenkaichi makes you feel like you're actually Goku. Okay, well, okay, this is bullshit. This game isn't actually fun. No one actually really enjoys these games. Clearly, they just like it because they grew up with it. Why not make a real fighting game? And Pat keeps saying, because they don't give a shit about balance. It's just built to be enjoyable, and you feel like Goku. And Wooly keeps going, okay, yeah, that's fair, but this is bullshit. They should have made a fighting game anyways. People only like this because it was in their childhood. And it was just one of those horrible instances where I want to reach the screen and tell Pat and Wooly, you're both fucking dumbasses. We need Matt or Liam to draw in your fucking worst traits again. Like, Kingdom Hearts is in this strange space. Is it as well put together as Is it as well put together as, say, Devil May Cry? Hell no. Is it a lot of fun? Yes. Is it stupid for Disney and Final Fantasy characters to cross over? Yes. Is it funny? Yes.
Is it hype? Somehow.
Yes. That's one of those secret little appeals of Kingdom Hearts is you're watching Peter Pan cast Firaga.
Yeah. Like
Donald Duck cast the fucking nuke spell from Final Fantasy is like one of the only two people, if not the only person, to survive actually casting it.
I've actually learned something about that scene recently. So, the magic he casts is Zeta Flare. The highest, like the big screen or the big nuke magic that killed people that used it is the one that's one level below that. Because if we interpolate the naming scheme for Final Fantasy magic, the Zeta Flare would be the next level up.
Jesus.
So Donald Duck casts an actual world-ending nuke, and possibly dies in the process, but we don't know. He might have lived.
Well, that's unfortunate for him.
Yeah.
Sounds like a him problem.
So yeah, like but also like, yeah, like it's the everything about Kingdom Hearts. It is very unique. Like the gameplay is very unique. Square's trying to replicate it into more games, but that's it might as well, I guess.
Yeah.
But it was very unique when it came out. The character design and the aesthetics overall. Say what you want about Nomura's art style. It's fucking unique. It
certainly is.
And then yeah, just the characters that the stories are told with. Like Kingdom Hearts 3 didn't have a lot of Final Fantasy representation. That was either because Nomura is dumb or because he ran out of time. Maybe a mix of both. Probably a mix of both. But like allegedly, close to Kingdom Hearts 3's release, in like a Japanese interview, Nomura was like, "Yeah, we just kind of ran out of time. We couldn't include many Final Fantasy things that we wanted." Which
yeah, Kingdom Hearts 3 sounded like one of the most fucked up projects in gaming in a little bit.
Yeah, I mean, it's also the problem is also that during its development is when Versus 13 got shafted, and Nomura, like you can kind of see in the game where Nomura goes, "Okay, Kingdom Hearts is now Versus 13," or whatever. Like the Kingdom Hearts 4 is, I made Kingdom Hearts, or I made Final Fantasy 15 again, but this time it's my vision. At least the stuff that we've seen so far. So Kingdom Hearts 4 it will be a lot more Final Fantasy themed. Not actual Final Fantasy, mind you. Nomura's brand of Final Fantasy themed.
Oh boy.
Yeah. Let's hope that there's good Disney stuff to balance it out, I guess. Because I can't really hope for like things like Cloud.
No.
It's all about Noctis. Well, not this.
Did you say not this?
Noctis. But close enough.
Yeah.
But yeah. So I've been doing that. I've also been playing a good bit of Digimon Story Cyber Sleuth. And I found out something very important that might make me stop playing the game in the long run.
What's that?
Run speed is tied to FPS.
Oh boy.
Yeah. So not only is the game running slower in the scenes when it's running slower, but so am I. And that means getting through those scenes is harder. So yeah, I thought about just importing because the only way to get both games, because the version that I own on Steam is a package deal of both of the Cyber Sleuth games, because for whatever reason there were two. And the only way to get the original Cyber Sleuth game on PS4 is to get it on disc. As you can imagine, not many people bought Cyber Sleuth on disc in Hungary. So if I want to play Cyber Sleuth at an actual frame rate and actual speed, I will probably have to import a copy from like Britain or something, which is money. And then also, like, if I'm there, I might as well get a used copy of Hacker's Memory, which is the second game in that thing. That's the second half of that game, I guess. Because Hacker's Memory goes on sale for like $10 a lot. But when it's not on sale, it's 60. That game came out for the PS Vita, mind you. Both of these games, both of the Cyber Sleuth games and Digimon World Next Order came out for the PS Vita originally.
Jesus.
Yeah. Like, there hasn't been a full-fledged proper Digimon RPG in 7 years.
Jesus.
Yeah. They are working on a new Digimon story game, which is Pokemon. Like, this is one of the things that make it so Digimon can't grow. It's 25% Bamco won't put money into it because they can't make the money back easily. Because they won't put money into it, but you know, that's a catch-22. And like, for at least 25% of the brand's failure is just, we don't have an actually like well-established IP. We have a loosely tied together world of monsters with a general idea and general aesthetics, but the rules of how these monsters work changes depending on what like take on the IP you're looking at. And this is true for everything. No two seasons of the anime use the same, well, not as far as I know, no two seasons of the anime use the same rules for the Digimon. Aside from, like, you know, vagaries of like, well, they come from the digital world. That's it. The how it looks, how it functions, varies wildly unless unless the things have a shared cast. And then in games, it also causes problems because like you have 3 games out right now which are considered current. You have the Digimon story games, which are considered one game. That's Pokemon. Pokemon with somewhat varied mechanics, but Pokemon still. You have Digimon World Next Order, which is like Digimon World 1. This is an important distinction to me. It's only like Digimon World 1, because all of these games were just called Digimon World at one point, even though they weren't the same game, or the same style of game, even. And that is a game about monster raising, which isn't Pokemon. Then, yeah, you also have Digimon Survive, which is a strategy RPG. It's a visual novel with strategy RPG elements.
What the fuck?
Yeah. And like, it's a fun story from what I understand. It's following the whole thing of the brand being more horror for some reason recently. Like, it has the scene that I posted, the picture of like, of Agumon going, thanks for saving us. A lot of children died for our safety, but it's fine. And like, I don't mind the edge for Digimon, because Digimon has always had an edge in the character design, at least. I mean, let me remind you, there's four Satans. There's at least 4 Satans in Digimon. Completely separate monsters, mind you.
Yeah.
But yeah, so like, I wish there was more brand cohesion for what we actually do with the brand, and I also wish it wasn't Pokemon, because I know it sells, but you're not gonna like, you're not really gonna get anything other than easy money, as far as I can see. Like, you know, it's not gonna let the brand grow on its own if you're just gonna continue copying the thing that you're accused of copying to begin with, even though you're a spin-off of Tamagotchi. Like they're just not using the things that they could, in my opinion, to the fullest extent. But then once again, like my preferred game is Next Order, which is a monster raising game because it plays into the whole spin-off of Tamagotchi thing. But a lot of people don't like the grinding in that, which fair.
Yeah.
Like it on one hand I disagree because I enjoyed the gameplay loop. On the other hand, it does suck when you spend like a week, well, an in-game week, mind you, but you spend a week just getting your pets, or I don't know, like, yeah, whatever, your pets. You train them up to be real big and strong, and then they just keel over and die.
Yeah, that seems like it would suck.
Like, to me, it's fun because it's the having to raise the mons from pretty much infancy until their death makes for some sad moments, because it's like, oh well, we were on a hot streak, we were beating everyone, but you became too old, and now I have to start over. And it's also funny for me because there was at least one generation where I really hated one of the mons, and they hated me a lot. And I was like, if you won't keel over right now, I will get a knife. you can't keep doing this, because they would, like, for example, one of the mechanics of the game is making sure that your Digimon go and use the toilet. They will tell you when they need to use the toilet, but for some reason they can't find the toilet. This guy would just never tell me anything and just shit on the floor whenever he could. Swell fella. But yeah, like once again, I understand why some people would not like the gameplay loop of raising your characters from infancy for them to die in, like, a couple of hours and then having to restart. But if it wasn't for that mechanic, then I wouldn't have memories like this. And these these people don't exist. They weren't scripted like this. It's a story that I made in the game with the stuff that they gave me.
Yeah.
Like it happened by random chance, but that makes it better because it's my unique story. Of this one fucking bug asshole who wouldn't stop shitting on the floor and made my life miserable for a couple of hours. until I eventually forced him to die. But the thing is, then I guess I'll close the Digimon talk on this. Even if you neglect your Digimon, like even if you go out of your way to be an asshole to them, that doesn't kill them. Because negative emotions can just form them into other Digimon.
Nice.
So it really is just a thing of, well, I have to do the basic minimum to make sure that this guy doesn't hate me, so his life won't get longer. But I need to make sure he dies. Because if Digimon evolve or Digivolve, whether they use normal evolve or Digivolve depends entirely on the localization. It is, once again, the IP is not consistent for some reason. I wish it was. But yeah, if a Digimon evolves, then their life becomes longer. So yeah. And there's other stuff there that you can work around with it in Next Order, but yeah. Cyber Sleuth, I'm enjoying it. I've been feeling like playing a Pokemon style game, so it's fine. But like, and I like the team I have going, and I like the mechanics that separate it from Pokemon. But I'm playing it and I'm like, man, I wish I actually like raised these guys. Because it feels like it sounds dumb, but it feels different when you actually like have to worry about, oh, this guy needs to eat, this guy needs to take a shit. I need to make sure that the basic needs are met, and then he'll get stronger. And then when he gets stronger, I paid a lot more attention to it than just pressing punch, like pressing generic attack to the other guy. But yeah. Did I do anything else? I feel like I've watched something, but I'm not sure. Hmm. Well, whatever. I guess for small bit of real life update. After the whole AIR thing went down, I thought about things, and just what I can do
And
to
you decided to ban Ted.
yeah.
Like philosophically?
Yes, I decided to ban Ted philosophically, specifically only
Uh,
philosophically. He cannot talk about
Very
philosophical things.
spiritual. I have destroyed his soul. His
Yeah.
body will remain.
As an unforeseen consequence, removing his soul has rendered Ted only be able to shit talk Cody Rhodes.
But he did that before.
I know.
That must be the quintessential element of his body.
Yeah. We thought it was Ted's doing, but no, it was just his body. But yeah, no. We've had discussions with my family about what I can actually do for a living eventually. The answer is nothing, but
Oh no.
The plan right now is just I'll try to see if I can actually officially learn how to tailor, and then maybe start a tailoring business, because
Yeah.
I'm an easy learner for stuff like that, and I already know some basics of sewing, so might as well, I guess.
Yeah.
Now, as always, I look at tailoring and I go, well, I don't know if people would actually commission me, because who has money to commission people for like a well-fitted suit? But at the same time, I am me. Like, I don't need to make generic, basic ass suits. I can probably learn how to tailor normally, and then use that knowledge and just make it so I tailor normal shit as well as cosplay and fursuits. Cause fuck it,
Yeah.
money will come eventually. Now, but seriously, like, I think if I start a tailoring thing that was just like an all-in-one place of you can get a normal outfit, you can also get this weird shit. I think that
Yeah.
might have some appeal.
Might scare off a couple customers as well, though. You do need to keep that in mind.
Yeah, true. But I'm just thinking, well, if you do advertisements today, where do you advertise? On the internet. Okay, what does the internet like? Weird shit?
Yeah.
Okay, well, what do I not see a lot? Well, I don't see actual like proper tailors really do stuff with cosplay. Fursuits, I don't know. Honestly, I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah.
But like that's the hardest part of like that's the one I leave for last. Because cosplay, you can do wonders with cardboard and cloth and stuff like that. But
Yeah.
like, I don't want to carve foam just yet. I'll warm myself
Yeah.
up to it. But yeah, like that's pretty much the idea. Because the idea was before this that I would go into art school in September. But there's no real reason for me to do that now, is there?
Yeah.
Like before this, if I went to art school and just lobbied enough for some random company, I might have been hired as like a logo designer or whatever. I might still be able to do that. But also consider this, that will take me 2 years. If I spend 2 years learning how to be a graphic designer to do good logos, what's to say?
To be fair, we need to probably throw in AI art probably ain't gonna take the logo job yet. Considering you tell the AI art to try and make a word and it comes out with schmurflux.
Yeah.
That is true.
But yeah, like my thing is just, well, what's to say that AI art can get to the point where it will just be, you will be able to just be like, hey, this is what my company does. This is the name. Do something, and then it just does something. And like,
Yeah.
and even if we get to that point, like it doesn't even need to say the words or whatever. It just needs to have a general idea that the person wants, and then they can just have like one graphic designer on staff to just fix up whatever the fuck the AI does. So like, even before this, getting into art professionally was a stacked job because there's 500,000 artists and 5 open jobs. And the AI art has made it so there's 5 million artists and 1 open job. So like, it just seems like a waste of time to try and break into the art scene, you know?
Yeah.
But yeah, like the main problem here, like the main problem with me finding a career choice is that just like I'm banned from doing doing menial labor because my body will actually just shut down and die. And uh, society, like I laugh at that, but no, genuinely, I need to be reintegrated into society first before I can hold an actual like desk job. And I don't know how how I'll go about that, so I need to find something before that. And tailoring is something that I can just do at home pretty much. Like I only need to speak with so many people. I don't know. What do y'all think?
I have no experience with any of that.
Yeah, I'm not experienced with any of that. It's your life, it's your choices, bud.
I wish I felt like I had choices. Must feel good.
Well, after a fashion, nobody does, but at the same time, after a fashion, everybody does.
Yeah. I mean, I like my choices of die and become car mechanic.
I mean, I won't be as mean about it as Ted ever, but the movies and the TV shows give us an idea that we should have more than what we actually do, you know?
This is a fact.
I mean, I just want a basic like middle
Addy, I
class.
suggest you move on this topic before I go on another capitalism thing. 'Cause every time I do that, I can feel you sitting there thinking, why the fuck do I hang out with this guy?
I mean,
And the fact that you don't dispute it means I'm right.
Now, I was about to say like usually I shut up when you go on when you or anyone else on the Discord goes on a capitalist tirade. Like I usually shut up because generally if I legitimately don't have anything to add to the conversation, I just don't. Like if I have a joke to add, I'll add the joke even. But like if I see your point and I'm just like, well, okay, I disagree, but whatever, then I just don't reply. And you generally take it as me being offended when I can't add anything to the conversation, so why should I?
Well, I'm just you. There are a lot of times though where you are like you disagree with something and you don't like something, but you just don't talk about it, right?
Sometimes, but yeah.
You're a very disagreement averse person, I would say.
I mean, yeah, I've been trained to be by Ted. I was trained to be by Ted and me being 12. Generally, those two people, especially me being 12, yeah, he's to blame.
Do you think at some point you should probably talk to Ted in PMs that you feel like he's actually caused you issues?
Oh, I'm me. Like, okay, how do I put this? technically, if I want to logically run it down, I could run it down to Ted and be like, well, Ted, that's part of the reason that I don't really argue about stuff or whatever. But it takes two to tango. Like that didn't just fucking decide that he's gonna argue with me for like 4 years straight. At a point in his life, you know.
It just seems like sometimes whenever Ted comes up, you've got like unresolved issues with him, you know?
I don't know. Usually I'm making jokes about it. Sometimes he makes me angry, but it's more like when I'm angry at him, I'm more angry about I'm more angry at the fact that he refuses to articulate it in a manner that's like you know what I'm trying to say. He goes out of his way to be an asshole sometimes. And I'm more angry at the fact that he's being an asshole again rather than what he's actually saying.
Well, I just don't want you to reach the point of poor traumatized Pink, who now just every day wakes up with the thought of, how am I going to pester Ted today?
Oh, that's too late. That's too late for that. I woke up one day like that. I woke up at I woke up like that. Words. Wow. And sometimes it just turns on. Like I forget when it was. It was during the AI argument, I think. But one of them, you know. But yeah, soon brought up like streamers for the topic for some reason, and I just replied with something that Ted would say, and Ted liked the post. So yeah, like sometimes I just wake up and I go, okay, well, no, sometimes I wake up, Ted says something and I just go, okay, so I can't have a conversation with Ted today. I'm just gonna do my best to troll him, I guess. Because obviously he's not interested in having this conversation, so why should I? But yeah, like, you know, I'd like to live in I like to live in like a middle class sort of life where I don't have to be like, hey, can I pay the fucking bills this month? Hey, do I have to just like not eat for the month if I want to buy a $10 game? You know?
Yeah.
Because I think there's I know that I will never live in a palace or whatever. I mean, I could if I fucking did horrible things. I'm not even meaning that in the like, you know, just use people or whatever way that people might no. I mean, legitimately, if I did like illegal shit to get into a palace and live there for like a week, I probably could. I'd get arrested immediately, like I should, but you know. But no, like my ideal way of life would be just to be like on the side of a mountain or in the middle of a forest somewhere, just have internet and no people. Fuck it.
You and Mike are so similar in so many ways.
Yeah, I know. Like one of the in general I think learning about how to do stuff is interesting, which helps with learning, as you'd imagine. But another part of why I look up how a lot of stuff works is just going, well, okay, if I learn how to do this sort of craft, then I can be self-sustainable. Then I don't need to rely on such and such. Like in a life where the only things I rely on are just like, you know, basic water bills and electricity and internet. That sounds good.
Yeah.
Because I don't have to worry about having to buy bread for like, I don't even remember how much bread costs. Like I brought
Well,
up
it's going up for the moment. Grocery prices are shooting up.
yeah, and I brought up a bad example because my dad works at a bakery, so we get bread for free sometimes. But
Well, that's always the gimmick. That's then why they pay you way less. It's like, well, you get free bread. I want more money, assholes.
Yeah. I mean, it goes both ways. Because like the rare moment when I stand up for a company, no, but like sometimes like I can argue for companies. I don't have an innate hate boner for specific companies or whatever's happening to them. I have a hate boner for the concept of companies ruling over everyone else, which is different. But yeah, no, it goes both ways because like this didn't used to be a thing officially. Unofficially, it has been a thing since my dad's been employed there, which is 10 years at this point, I think. So yeah, like whatever. But people kept taking home too much shit because it's not really it's not just a thing of like, hey, here's a loaf of bread with your payment once every month. It's just when you come in, you can take like a thing. Was the agreement, and people took that as I can take the stock and resell it. So then they went, okay, let's officially recognize that we do this. You can take home exactly this amount of shit. That hasn't stopped people, so now they're limiting it further. And I think like during COVID, it was just like you can take home 10. Okay, this is the problem with English. In Hungarian, we have different names for different buns and stuff like that. And in English, as far as I know, nope, it's just bun.
Oh boy!
But regardless, you can take home 10 buns, or you can take home like a bread. And I think that's also going away officially because people still kept going, oh boy, I can bring home 10 loaves of bread and sell them.
Yeah.
So yeah, like, in some cases, I'll say, yeah, fuck the people, the companies are in the right. It's just usually when it comes to entertainment, it really doesn't feel that way.
When they fuck with my business.
No, like I think the difference is like to me is that in this case you're cutting into their profit. Like you are taking their product and selling it again, or reselling it as a third party. That's cutting into their profit. I understand it easier than just going, well. What can I really point out that pissed me off recently about monetization? Nothing really, because the stuff that pisses me off about monetization is just a general sweeping thing. I guess I could bring up the characters in my faction, but I don't actually care about that. That just feels like
that one's such a.
That one just feels like a waste of everyone's time, honestly. Like, you should just keep that money and put it towards 2K24, fuck it.
If it makes them money, then it's not really a waste of money, but like it doesn't really. If it doesn't really bother me. I know there's a lot of people who are like, they're stealing character costumes right out of my hands. No, it wasn't yours to begin with. We're getting actually more content than we did the year before, more or less consistently every year. There just happens to be extra content that's exclusive to one mode, which is annoying, but whatever. You're still getting more content than you did the previous year.
This is true. And if you hack it on PC, then you get them anyway in all the modes. It's great.
Yeah, but then it causes a bunch of weird bugs.
That'll be fine.
Sweet, I got the extra Damien Priest attire. Oh, why am I exploding?
Divine Smiting.
Yeah, I was about to say. They had to sneak him into my faction. God hates that Damien Priest attire.
Yeah. But yeah, like I'm of the opinion that if you make content like the extra tears or whatever, then just put it into whatever mode, maybe even as unlockable, if nothing else. Otherwise, it's kind of a waste of time and money. But my faction, like I disagree with the existence of my faction in general. So
Well, it's annoying because none of us are ever gonna play it.
yeah.
But as long as it doesn't interfere with the shit I actually do play, it's no skin off my bones.
That's the thing, though. Like to me, like you know the whole thing of first they came for blank. I didn't speak up because I'm not blank. Like that hits me as that.
Oh, Jesus Christ. A little more complex than that. That's the thing about people. That's the thing about fucking people. You just make up one saying, and you can throw it in any situation, regardless of accuracy or nuance. And people are just like, well, god damn it, you're right, pal. It's to go back again to the fucking a bad mechanic always blames his tools. Okay, but what if the tools do fucking suck? Yeah, but a bad mechanic never blames his tools. Like the fucking peon mouth breather fucking knuckle draggers that make up most people that walk around these fucking days. What am I saying? These fucking days? It's always been. But people that fucking these fucking mouth breathing fucks. They just sound like Cornette there. Just like. You could explain it like, a full paragraph of, okay, this isn't going to happen because this. And they'll just go, okay, yeah, but bad mechanic blame tools, though. And it's just like, you know what it reminds me of? That I've been seeing a lot of lately? That fucking Dragon Ball thing. Addy, you know the thing I'm talking about.
No.
Cool, complex character, dipshit. Here's a fucking character lighting on fire. It's cool, though. Shut up.
Oh, yeah, that.
Like, it's that whole thing of, like, you imagine that kind of defiant willpower could be used for good, but instead today we're going to use it to just say, I don't, like, here is stupid take, you are butthead. Nuances for little bitches. I didn't have a single coherent thought there, that was just anger. Okay. It is not going to be first they came for the Jewish, but I didn't care because I was Jewish. Then they came for the gays and didn't care because I was gay, blah, 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 blah. If the game becomes focused on my faction, you don't fucking buy it. And there's going to be a bunch of people that don't fucking buy it. Because wrestling fans, there's probably not the same crowd there that there is for Madden or FIFA. Whoa. Oh shit, I forgot Conan was Max Moon.
For a hot second there.
But yeah, like my thing is like I don't really care either way, cause 2K22 was okay gameplay wise, but I had enough game breaking bugs that I didn't really enjoy my time with it all that much. And
you're wrong for that.
How dare my fucking...
How dare you have a game-breaking experience in that game? How dare you...
Games bug out for Addy. Why is that? Like, is there a line of code that just goes like, Hungary detected, add game-breaking bug?
Yeah.
If, Addy, arrow, add colon, game-breaking bug. Game underscore breaking underscore bug.
But yeah, but aside from that, like the last wrestling game that I bought was 2K14. So, like, if the series goes away, if the series just goes down the fucking monetization hole and just becomes my faction, doesn't bother me all that much because I don't give a fuck. Like, I'm already tuned out.
The CAW system, there's so much you can still do even with old wrestling games, right? It's the thing that makes me so confused about GOG losing his shit and going, what the fuck? It's like, okay, if you like 2K14 better than what's coming out now, so much better, and you still own your copy of 2K14 and have a console that can run it, you can still throw that in. There are people that still have not moved on from No Mercy and Here Comes the Pain.
I mean,
Like-
I'd also raise the argument that I raised for Sonic for wrestling games where I'm gonna go. There's been a couple like enjoyable wrestling games. There hasn't been one that I went, yes, this is the wrestling game. Like,
I mean, that can kind of get down to subjectiveness as well, of course.
Yeah.
Because there were a lot of people that did get No Mercy, or Here Comes the Pain, or even like Virtual Pro Wrestling, or WCW versus the World, and went, this is the wrestling game, you know?
yeah. But it's like to me, like I think I said this to Pink a while back while I was first having the game breaking bugs with 2K22, where I went, yeah, like this is the best gameplay that we've ever had. But that's kind of sad when you think about it. Like,
Well, it's different things appeal to different folks, I suppose. Some people would have been really into the old style from 2K15 to 2K19 of stamina, unlimited reversals, and I don't know what's wrong with them.
I remember when they made that change. I got into an argument with a certain with Trometlov, and about the exact thing, and they kept saying, well, no, it's realistic, that's why it's good, it's a simulation, and I kept going, but it's not fun.
Yeah. 2K15 felt so bad. Oh boy, the PS4, Xbox One generation had such a rough start. Holy shit.
Yeah.
I mean, the Xbox 360 and PS3 didn't have a great start either, but it's crazy caught between the PS2, which had such a strong start. Holy shit. And the PlayStation 5, which has also had an uncomfortable start because quarantine has limited the amount of games that actually came out, but it still had some strong launchers. It had, God of War Ragnarok, it had, Demon Souls, and so on. It's just, oh boy, I remember just struggling to find shit to play on the PS4. Just go like, UFC 3, sure. I don't even like MMA, but I'll take it just as something to play.
But yeah, like,
do you remember at the time how people were just going, holy shit, Shadow of Mordor? A game that wasn't really that impressive outside of the Nemesis system, but we were just so desperate and hungry for good games on that console generation that everybody was all over it.
Yeah. But yeah, like also another reason that I think it pisses me off when games start going down the monetization hole is just because it's like it's a personal thing for me. But like whenever a series starts to steer away from me, I just start going, fuck. Not again.
How could this happen?
Like, you like it happens like twice during, I don't know, like a 20 year, wow, numbers.
20 years, holy shit.
But yeah, it happens twice in a 10-year like gap or whatever, like, whatever. It happens 3 times in whatever. It happens like three times in 3 years, maybe 2. Like that's kind of getting to the ridiculous point, doesn't it?
That was, yeah, a strong fucking hot streak of literally all of your favorite series turning on you. It was crazy. Like Yakuza especially, like Assassin's Creed, that was a clear, there is a delineation, a morph of Assassin's Creed over the course of the series away from what you want.
Yeah.
Like it wasn't a drop off a cliff, it was a slow hill.
Yeah.
Yakuza was honestly, you got into it, and it was like the next fucking day, Sega announced that they're just gonna change the entire series into something else that you didn't like.
Yeah.
Like, I think I've said this before probably, but I'll say it again. I really need you to start, like, really enjoying Dead Risings 2 through 4, so it can go back to being what I like.
Oh, I've heard, like, if you remember, I sort of enjoyed The Witcher 3, and that got CD Projekt sued, so...
Yeah. Yeah, use it for spite. Who's your other most hated developer?
Nah.
Oh boy!
Nah, there's
I'll be honest, FromSoft's one of those ones especially where I'd say, we don't really need any more games. There's enough FromSoft content that by the time I'm finished replaying all the games again, I can just start over. Again. Fuck it.
Like, you know, it's one of those things where, like, I don't actually genuinely hate a lot of developer teams or publishers, for that matter. I don't like their products a lot of times, but really, I only like even when I'm sick of them, I'm just sick of them, and I wish they would go away. But I don't want them to cease existing immediately.
Are there any franchises? Are there any franchises where what they've already put out in your mind is like good enough? Anything that comes out after this point is just icing, but I am perfectly satisfied if they just stop right now.
I mean, this is one of those things where, like, if I could go back in time, potentially, because, like, Kingdom Hearts after 2, they could have stopped after 2. Like, I enjoyed the games that came after it, but 2 is a very good cutoff point, which is where I intend to cut it off with Pink if we ever get around to doing that. You know, like...
Birth by Sleep could be a fun trip with Pink as well.
I mean, the entire thing could be a fun trip to just look into some of the weirder stuff and all that. But like, it's one of those things where, like, if Pink enjoys playing Kingdom Hearts, then I'll say we consider it, but not immediately. Like, immediately, my thought is just to go through 1 and 2, and then I'll fill in the blanks for Chain of Memories. And then after that, if Pink likes it, then...
And a blank is an accurate description for that game, and I'm not even using that word negatively.
Yeah.
The entire point of that game's plot is blank.
Yep, exactly. Are you looking forward to it, Pink?
I have no idea.
Good. That is the emotion you should have.
Chain of Memories probably has the easiest plot to summarize anyways.
Yeah.
Organization 13 exists. Sora forgot all of his bullshit. Sora killed a bunch of the Organization 13 dudes and got most of his memory back, but he's still trapped in an egg. There you go. Okay, on to Kingdom Hearts 2. What did I say?
No, I'm saying also Repliku.
Oh, Replica Riku.
Yeah.
I forgot about that shit.
He becomes important in 3, so Pink needs to know about Repliku.
Oh no! Fucking Nomura!
Yep.
Like, a plot can never just be simple with him. It can never just be, okay, fun little adventure. It's always got to be, do you remember this one side bit gimmick character who is there for 2 levels? Yeah, the core of the next game's entire story is about him. Fuck you.
Like, you know, this is one of the things that I enjoy about Kingdom Hearts, because it's just like... I never anticipated, so I'm just like, why? Okay, I guess we're doing this now. And it's the storytelling equivalent of a slapstick joke.
You're not wrong. Like, I wind up falling on the opposite side of that, where I find a lot of charm in a lot of the goofy things of Kingdom Hearts, but I'm also one of the guys who, the more the plot goes on, Kingdom Hearts 1, simple plot. Okay, let's do this. Okay, hearts, darkness, yeah, alright, let's rock. Okay, there's Ansem. Woohoo. Kingdom Hearts 2. Okay, we got this Organization 13 shit. It's a little complex. I don't know what's going on with this Xehanort stuff, this Diz stuff, but I think I get the broad strokes of it. You get to Birth by Sleep. Okay, prequel. What is going on here?
Yep.
Are we Jedi? Are we Sith? What is this? I don't know. I'm just going to play the game. Dream Drop Distance. Fuck me, I have no clue what's going on anymore.
Yeah. Pink.
There are 13 Xehanorts? Why?
Pink, I need to tell you right now. So one of the big parts of Kingdom Hearts is the characters' names being anagrams. One of the antagonists is called Xemnas. His anagram is for man sex.
Yeah.
Okay.
Good
Anyway.
God, we've really put Pink through the ringer here today on this episode, haven't we?
Yeah. What was I gonna say?
All right, we're gonna get to the end of this, and it's gonna be like, all right, anyone want to play anything? And Pink's gonna go, fuck no, and just leave the call immediately.
Shit. But yeah, like, Kingdom Hearts after 2 could have been cut, and I'd be satisfied with it, honestly. Like, retrospectively, there we go. Assassin's Creed could have been cut after Revelations, and I'd be fine with it. It could have been Conductor 3, and I'd be only
was about
somewhat
to say.
disappointed.
Yeah, three kind of has to be there to wrap the modern day plot up. But yes, AC is definitely one of those ones that comes to mind for zombie franchises. Of the main plot line finished a long time ago, a decade ago now. Still, the franchise walks.
Yeah, like the thing, like there was a different plan for Assassin's Creed's main story, or the modern age story. I mean, and after they let the guy know.
I know you said modern age story, but I heard modern age story.
I mean, we don't know where Desmond's been.
Yeah.
But I digress. So yeah, there was a different idea where eventually you just play your game as Desmond in the modern day and stuff like that. That got scrapped because
that sucked.
Yeah, that got scrapped because because Ubisoft told the guy who came up with Assassin's Creed that oh no, it was the guy that replaced the guy because he quit during Brotherhood. Whatever. Either which way, the series director was told, "Hey, Assassin's Creed is gonna end, so end Assassin's Creed." And he went, "Okay, so Desmond dies. That's the end of Assassin's Creed." And then Black Flag was released.
Did you call Black Flag what I think you called it?
Not on purpose.
Okay, let's move on.
Yeah.
Hank, are there any franchises you can think of where, like, not even like anger of like, oh, I hate these fucking sequels, but like a franchise you can think of where it's like, you know what, I am cool with this point. Any good games we get after this are just icing. I am really just cool, like, playing through these games again. To be honest, New Vegas is one that comes to mind where I kind of was like, Fallout 4 seemed neat, but at the end of the day, New Vegas was a game where I was kind of like, I'm satisfied with the variety of endings this game offers, and there's no way that any follow-up game could satisfyingly follow through.
Yeah, I think that's a good answer, because
that one especially, because it's like, depending on your choices, either the entire western side of the United States ends up under the control of the NCR or the Legion, or maybe House or Yes Man, but... And, like, there's no way a Fallout 5 or whatever, or even if they let Obsidian run with it, there's no way they could deal with just how wild of a difference it would be to have any of those four factions in control, you know?
Yeah, absolutely.
And along similar lines, New Vegas, I always thought, like, the core identity of New Vegas is the idea people are rebuilding. Right? And Fallout 4 seemed like it was going to run with that idea, but no, Fallout 4, actually, their wasteland feels a hell of a lot more empty than New Vegas.
Right.
And with the thing with proceeding from New Vegas is it's kind of like, yeah, but do we have even the tech to explore the idea of a new Fallout game that explores a more civilized and filled out wasteland? And also, do people even want it?
Mm-hmm.
Because on some level, that would go against the core Fallout identity.
Yeah.
Which almost kind of makes me wonder if they ever did go back to the West Coast, if they would just do what that writer wanted, that Chris, what was his fucking name? I don't remember. What he wanted, which is nuke the West Coast again to stop the growth of civilization and go backwards. Which would be such a cop-out.
Yeah.
Yep.
I guess
I think the Fallout franchise, if it proceeds, needs to kind of keep the East Coast primitive. And if they don't want to ever make a more civilized Fallout game, then just have the West Coast get acknowledged every now and then. Like, man, there's some crazy shit going down out in California, huh?
Oh, yeah.
I've heard stories they've got working water out there in Nevada.
I actually remember two more answers for series that I'm fine with being done for the most part.
What are those series?
Contra. I will never need another game aside from the first one. Back it up.
That's a different question.
Yeah.
That's a different question. If I was asking the question of what franchise do you think is never going to be good for you again, then I think you would answer honestly Contra. But I don't think you honestly don't want another good Contra game.
I mean, honestly, with the release of Contra 1, or like, with the pack that they made, I'm good. Like, if they make a new good Contra, then I'll be hyped for it. But I don't expect Konami to actually deliver, ever.
That's what I'm saying. There's that's a different question there. And if I ask that question, that's a lot of what we already talk about.
Yeah.
At least for your week, most weeks is, well, here's a franchise I used to love, but now I don't expect anything good out of.
And then Fatal Frame. I'm completely fine with Fatal Frame 2 being the entire series. the first one is fine.
You have hijacked this question, sir. Trying to lead us away from the standard weekly topic of what of Addy's favorite franchises has killed itself today?
Oh no, Fatal Frame didn't kill itself. It's coming back, in fact.
I disagree. You've told me about what happened with Fatal Frame. I disagree. I say that franchise absolutely killed itself. No part of protagonist
definitely.
incest, sounds like a good continuation of a franchise.
Oh yeah, no, like after the third game, the story just became shit. Yes, like okay, the intrigue part of the actual like mythical stuff stayed the same. It like that part was good throughout the entire series. The characters that they chose to make playable sucked ass, and how they interact with the story also sucked ass. So yeah, like it's. I say like I look at it differently because I think the story of later Fatal Frames ruin the games, but like gameplay wise they seem fine. Like, it's still Fatal Frame. It's just the story is very icky and I don't like it.
And
then that's putting it very nice.
Like for me, I'm thinking like games where like I just look at it and it's like, okay, this is a complete package. Like this is for me, a solid complete package. Put a bow on it, right?
Oh, Blazing Chrome, then yeah.
That's a solid choice.
Like Blazing Chrome is one of those. Enter the Gungeon. Like I don't even like Enter the Gungeon that much anymore, but still, like it's a complete package.
I mean, like I almost like part of what I'm thinking here is like games where you look at it and say they could come out with a sequel for this, yes, but unless that sequel is fucking phenomenal, I can't be more interested in playing a new game than I would in just going back and playing these games again.
Infamous 2.
Infamous is another solid choice.
That is a good choice, yes.
Like if they're ever to do an Infamous 3, and it should be Infamous 3. Pretend Second Son didn't happen. The only way they could really make people super interested in Infamous 3, other than bringing back Cole, which would be lazy, but it would work, would be Infamous with a Nemesis system, right?
Right.
But I mean, like the thing with the Nemesis system is that, and obviously I'm unbiased as someone who didn't really enjoy my time with the games that use the Nemesis system. But like the thing with the Nemesis system to me is that it seems like such a lazy pitch for people who don't make games to just be like, use the Nemesis system. That shit needs to be licensed out. WB made sure.
Well, see, the thing is, it's definitely a lazy pick as a consumer. That's because it's such a fun mechanic.
I don't know. I think about part of why I didn't enjoy it as much is because the Nemesis system was like the main form of narrative. I was
about to say, you're a person who focuses a lot more on the main plot line in open world games. I have never finished the main plot line in any of the Bethesda games, ever. So you and I have different priorities there. I'm a lot more interested in going off and doing side stuff, if the side stuff is more fun than the main stuff, right?
Yeah.
That's not to dunk on the main plot line of New Vegas. It does look pretty fun from the videos I've seen of it. But at the end of the day, I always will get sidetracked doing a lot of the fun, goofy side stuff in New Vegas, a lot of the fun, serious side stuff in New Vegas, like hunting down the fiends or helping those ghouls get to the moon and so on, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
And for Shadow of Mordor especially, like, really with Shadow of Mordor, most of my playthroughs of Shadow of Mordor, I figure out, okay, what's the point where I've finished unlocking all the plot locked abilities, like especially branding. Okay, when I get to that point, I don't bother playing the main story anymore. I just switch to playing Nemesis.
I mean, I don't know about Mordor. I played Shadow of War, and in that one, it was just like, okay, here are your basic abilities. We'll call these missions plot missions. We'll call these missions plot missions. They are literally the exact same as side missions, as in very unrewarding. Have fun.
Shadow of War was a very different game that had a lot of issues. Shadow of War had a lot of really cool stuff with the Nemesis system. I've already talked at length about the Shadow of Mordor to War transition, so I'll just suffice it to say, the stuff added to the Nemesis system was really cool, sieging and all that, and betrayals and all that. But at the same time, the transition from Mordor to War is so rough because they nerfed Toriel, or whatever the hell his name is, into the ground severely. And Shadow of Mordor also had a blatant power fantasy aspect to it. Of you became this ultra fucking elf ghost warrior that could wipe out an entire room of orcs in seconds, you know?
Yeah.
And in Shadow of War, you kind of struggle to do any work without the support of one of your orc followers. It's rough. Nonetheless. So, Pink, you still not got any answers?
Outside of Infamous 2, I guess I could also throw Uncharted under the bus because...
Which one? There's only one right answer.
3?
No, 2.
You're wrong. 3 was great.
No.
A lot of people are big fans of 4.
I mean, gameplay-wise, 4 was the best. Pink hasn't played it because it was only on PS4.
This is true.
The gameplay-wise, 4 was the best. Setting-wise, in my opinion, it was 2.
Someone can correct me if I'm wrong, but doesn't Uncharted also have one of the most cleanly finished storylines in any video game?
I think so.
Yeah.
Where, like, if they did announce a sequel following Nathan Drake again, people would go, why? His story is done?
Yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, like Nathan Drake, his story ends being at home playing Crash.
Could you imagine if the game actually did end that way? Where he comes down, he sits on the couch, he whips out a PlayStation 1 controller, and you just start hearing the level 1 theme for Crash start playing. No,
it just transitions into playing Crash as the credits roll.
Yeah, okay. That would be hype if it's like you finished Uncharted 4, you have unlocked, we built Crash Bandicoot 1 into this game. Enjoy, asshole.
They did that though. They actually did that though. Yeah, you start Uncharted playing Crash 1, and then you start Uncharted 4 playing Crash 1, and I think you might even end Uncharted 4 playing Crash 1. But it's not the full game, it's just the first level if memory serves, but it was completely remade in the Uncharted engine.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Alright. If I guess I had to make some picks. Let's see.
What? I want to throw one more franchise under the bus.
Yeah.
What's
Mario
that?
Kart should have ended with Double Dash. Every
anyways.
That was
I'll agree,
just
Pink.
absolute trash.
I'll agree, Pink. The last Mario Kart I played was 64, but that doesn't matter.
That one sucked.
I agree.
Now that we've got the unserious answer out of the way. So, for my picks, if they want to do any more Devil May Cry's following Nero, that's neat. But that's kind of just icing. Devil May Cry 5 was a pretty nice wrap-up. I'd be fine with a game that's like, oh, Nero and Virgil get to actually have a father-son relationship. But honestly, it's pretty easy to fill in the blanks there. Especially with the way the menu...
Yeah.
Especially with the main menu screens you unlock after beating the game.
You get Devil May Cry 6, but you play as Victoria or whatever her name was.
Victoria.
Cereza's daughter.
Oh, what's her name? Yeah, you're right. I just think of her as Cheshire. Cheshire, because she has the stupid big cat. Oh, Viola.
Yeah, Viola. You play as Viola. You
Yeah,
never play six.
Bayonetta's... Yeah, Bayonetta would have to be my pick for the Addy category of, like... I'd prefer that the series ended with 2, please. Like, someone could pull it back with Bayonetta 4, but it's not Kamiya. Love Kamiya to death. Bless him. Kamiya is a guy who digs his feet in and says, no, fuck you, this is the game I want to make. Bayonetta 4 is going to come out. It is going to be Viola playing nothing but Space Harrier, and she's doing it. She's set up a Space Harrier arcade machine on her parents' graves.
Yeah.
Every now and then she steps up from her seat, and it's a full cutscene, fully animated cutscene, where she spits and then pisses and shits on her parents' graves. And Enzo in the background is just doing pratfalls and going, "Ah, my family's dead." Whoa! And if you beat the game and you get a perfect score on all the Space Harrier levels, you get an actual film like FMV of Hideki Kamiya just giving you the finger, and then jerking off onto the camera. Anyways, yeah, that was. I'll also say God of War is into space, specifically Kratos. Like, I am curious to see where Atreus goes. Kratos' story is wrapped. Do not give me another Kratos game. Unless it's like Kratos just gets a cutesy little cameo in like an Egyptian or Japanese God of War game. Like, Kratos is done. Kratos' story is finished. Do not push him any further, because he has got the most satisfying ending he is ever going to get.
Grandfather Kratos in God of War 6.
Well, okay, that would be funny if the only cameo Kratos gets is every now and then Atreus needs Kratos to babysit his kid.
Yeah. I'm also just imagining the more time goes on, the more Kratos just starts becoming Heihachi Mishima.
Yeah. Kratos, I thought you were bald. How did you start growing devil horn hair?
Don't question my ways, boy.
It'd be crazy in Scandinavia now, boy. We've invented hair plugs.
I've even implanted hair implants. This is actually Mimir's beard.
Mimir's a hairless Mimir still strapped to his ass all these years later.
Yeah.
I don't fucking like this. That was my key to getting Valkyrie pussy. Anyway. You know, I wouldn't be too mad if Total War Warhammer stopped updating after Chaos Dwarfs, because I think the modders are taking it in such a good direction. And that's not dunking on Crave Assembly. I love Crave Assembly. I think they do fantastic work. I hate the Total War fan base, but they get better. Every Total War game releases in a somewhat rough state, and the longer and longer after release, the better and better the game gets. Rome 2 is definitely the biggest example of this. Rome 2 was such a clusterfuck that everyone outside of the Total War fan base heard about how much of a clusterfuck it was. Don't let that fool you. Rome 2 has had like half a decade of support. Rome 2 is in a very, very good state. But it still holds the legacy of Crib Assembly's greatest fuck-up, you know?
Yeah.
Anyways.
Did you
finish your...
I don't remember,
go ahead.
But yeah, like I remembered one more game that I could put in that category. Revengeance.
Oh,
Revengeance.
That's one.
Yeah.
Revengeance is such a good game though that I feel. I don't know. I feel like there could be a really fantastic sequel sitting in there. You know?
There could be a really fantastic sequel, but if they don't make a sequel at all, then I'm fine. Like it's a very good game.
Revengeance is not one of those games where you sit there and you finish the game and it's like, oh, but man, it just feels so unfinished without a sequel.
Yeah.
Right? Like, no, it's a complete story and it's a complete gameplay experience. It doesn't feel like it's missing anything at all. You can play that game a dozen times over and over and still have a lot of fun.
Yeah.
But man, if it did get a sequel, that sequel would probably be so fucking good. I don't know, Modern Platinum's not on a roll lately.
I was just about to say. Maybe if they get Capcom to make Revengeance 2, I don't know the actual like the legal stuff that they would have to do, all the legal stuff, for that matter, that they would have to do to transfer the rights from Platinum to Capcom. But imagine the Capcom's Devil May Cry team making Revengeance 2.
That would be nuts, but that would also take a little bit because Itsuno very clearly has his heart set on Dragon's Dogma 2.
Yeah.
Which, oh boy, I don't talk about that one a lot because Dragon's Dogma 1 was a bit iffy. It failed to grab me. But Dragon's Dogma 2, with some real budget and time behind it, that game could be monstrous.
I mean, Dragon's Dogma is one of those things where, like, I hear the stories of people who played it. Like, it kind of strikes me like an MMO. I hear the stories of people who played it, and I go, that sounds really fun. I should play this. And then I look at it, and then I go, oh, fantasy RPG.
It's one of those ones that requires serious investment and probably also, like, Dragon's Dogma seems like the kind of game that's a delight if you can get someone who has already played the game to guide you through it.
Yeah, I mean, like, the thing that I remember about that, if I'm thinking of the right game, even about the Dragon's Dogma, is just how you pick up your companions and throw them at the enemy and they die.
Yeah, I was about to say, the thing that, without a doubt, is the immediate thing that makes Dragon's Dogma unique is the grappling system.
So, Pink, you can suplex a cow.
Yeah, I need to play this.
It was on
the grappling
PS3,
system has a... If it's a small or medium enemy, I think a lot of the grappling system consists of pick up and carry the enemy. You can put enemies in full Nelsons and let your party members just wail away on them. Or conversely, ask your party members to put a goblin in the full Nelson and just wail away on him. You can pick up even regular town NPCs. I have to mention this. You can pick up and carry regular town NPCs. And it does reduce their opinion of you, generally, when you do that, which is funny. Because you pick up somebody and throw them at a wall, and they're like, I didn't like that. But I discovered really early on, that is a game where you can kill the fuck out of any NPC you don't like. Because Dragon's Dogma, they didn't have the time to program in swimming. So the game has a special thing where all water in the entirety of the game world is full of deadly killer leeches. I did not know that when I first picked up an NPC and thought it'd be funny to throw him in the water. That was horrifying.
Nice.
It was honestly like, it'd be so funny to throw an NPC in the water now, make him swim back. Funny prank. Oh, God! Oh, he's fucking dead!
Yeah.
Get out of town!
But yeah, like, the Dragon's Dogma, for me personally, it has the same problem of Berserk, where, like, I hear good things. Also, medieval or medieval fantasy.
I want to throw in one thing real quick. The game also has something very cool of what happens when you grab something that's too big for you to throw around. Obviously, you can't suplex a dragon. At least not
but
yet.
Why not? Yeah.
You cling onto the monster's side and can Shadow of the Colossus your way onto them, even if it's a flying monster. And the game's tutorial starts off with fighting a flying, like, chimera type thing.
Nice.
And everyone's first experience is they go to grab it, they latch onto the side, and it just flies straight up with you still stuck to its ass, and you're just stuck there going, oh shit! Don't let go, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go, don't let go. Oh, and also you can still stab it while you're climbing on top of it. So you can just climb onto the Chimera's back and start wrestling with the fucking snake growing out of its spine.
Yeah.
That is just one of those games I need to get Soon one day to sit down and guide me through it. Right? Because Soon's a big Dragon's Dogma guy. So I know he could be able to do it. Alright.
So yeah, I think that's my week.
You know, when you throw in that topic we got in there, that might be the longest week yet.
Yeah.
Anyways. Let's see. For one thing, hit the Nintendo Switch Virtual Console stuff. Like I said, I don't want to dwell on it for too long. I tried some NES games. I beat the original Super Mario Brothers while Addy was playing Civ 6. That is a fun game that was innovative in its time and is one of the best aged original Nintendo games. It is nice. It is fun, though the goofy thing about the original Super Mario Brothers as a gimmick is by the end, all of the Bowser castles get the gimmicks of being repeating mazes that you have to figure out a specific combination of ways to go through. That is a sign. I don't think that Miyamoto at the time intended it to be that, but that is a sign of the thing that more than anything else makes the original NES so poorly aged. More than the graphics, more than the clunky gameplay. The thing that ages so many of the NES games is the original monetization system. The original dirty money gimmick in video games.
Run the clock.
Oh yeah.
Before even expansion packs, not run the clock, not try and force out more gameplay, because really that, I don't mind that. The original monetization gimmick was throw in several parts of the game that make no goddamn sense at all unless you bought the strategy guide.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Legend of Zelda.
That was the Yep. Because after I finished Super Mario Brothers 1, I was like, oh, I should go play the original Zelda 2. And after about 30 minutes of wandering around the woods, picking fights with random Octoroks, I was like, I have no goddamn clue where I'm going. And I know there's a specific order of things I'm supposed to do. It's Zelda. I know that.
Like
I've never I've never beaten a Zelda game before in my life. The only time I've put into Zelda before is another instance where I put an hour into the original Zelda.
The description you gave is the exact reason that I don't like the entire series of Zelda. I spent 30 minutes going around the woods, hitting Octoroks, and then I go, what the fuck am I supposed to do? And then I just quit.
Like, it's crazy how quickly that fell off with the Super Nintendo, where the Super Nintendo, they're like, actually, we should use game design principles to guide the player through the game and make it enjoyable on its own.
Yeah.
Like, playing the original Zelda is just so fucking rough. And one day I'll probably sit down with a strategy guide and I'll do it, because Zelda 1 is one of the quintessential game design things.
Yeah, Link to the Past, as far as I understand, Link to the Past does most of the same things aside from being esoteric.
Just better.
Yeah, just better. And as someone who doesn't like Zelda, Link to the Past is the best one that I've played. So, you know.
Yeah, Link to the Past is definitely on my list of games I want to hit off Virtual Console. But, like, it is crazy playing Zelda 1, and you can still feel that thing of, like, this was super innovative for its time. Miyamoto was, like, ahead of his time on this stuff, where it's like, okay, it's not lives, it's not, run through the levels and then, get the score. It is, you collect items, there's monsters and puzzles and dungeons and boss fights,
Yeah, I wish you could play the Japanese version of Zelda 1, because in the Japanese version, there's these bad enemies whose name escapes me, where to kill them. One of the ways to kill them in the Japanese release only is to yell into the microphone on the controller.
Yes, because the Famicom had a controller microphone and the NES didn't.
Yeah, and that's
such a goofy thing.
Yeah, it's so funny. Like
or that
like,
Beat Takeshi game where you have to sing to the microphone.
I was about to say, like, I can only think of 2 games that actually utilize the microphone.
Yep. That Beat Takeshi game, which sounds like hell on earth.
Yeah. When are they adding Takeshi's challenge to the Virtual Console?
Hopefully fucking never.
But
anyways,
it was the original Dark Souls. Hidden lore.
Speaking of the original Dark Souls, I also gave Zelda 2 a shot.
Ah.
Zelda 2 is one of those games, again, where it's like, okay, this does seem cool. I absolutely had to look up a strategy guide to just get even out of the fucking gate, because all of the castles and dungeons and caves require you to have the fucking candle. The fucking candle is in the fucking castle, which is itself on the other side of a fucking cave that you can't fucking see anything in. And you have no idea where it is. And you'll have a few NPCs. You go into the villages, and again, very innovative. Go into a village, talk with the townspeople. They'll tell you where to go. Hey, I forgot about that shit. So when that lady is like, come in and I'll heal you. And it's like this swanky lady in a long, slinky dress. I was like, oh boy, Miyamoto. Huh.
Oh.
I Am Error.
I Am Error is the classic. That one's one of my all-time favorite original NES memes, because of how many people are like, oh, it's a bug. Like, no, that's not how text scrolls in Nintendo games worked.
Yeah.
There wasn't like an open like blank spot where his name's supposed to go. Anyways,
Yeah, that was a reference to Ermac from Mortal Kombat. Obviously.
well, it's specifically supposed to be its twin brothers, Error and Glitch, right? Or is it Error and Bug?
I don't remember.
Both of which are, of course, named as jokes.
Yeah.
But either which way, Zelda 2, I think, I can see why there's a lot of people that don't like Zelda 2 because they feel it's way too difficult. I did enjoy it more than Zelda 1. With that said, I still only got like an hour in. I beat the first castle, and I was wacky going into the first castle because it started playing the music. And, it's the thing that I think a lot of people experience now with Nintendo games of going, oh, that's the song for Smash Brothers. Oh, shit. I'm that kid that old people get mad about.
That's the guy from Smash Brothers pointing at Terry.
Yeah, I could put, like, that, exactly. Fucking exactly, Addy, thank you. Because I realized I am that guy that makes other people mad. Where people will go, oh, Terry Bogard from Smash, and I go, oh, god damn it.
Yeah.
And Pink could do that right now. Pink could absolutely go, oh, Terry Bogard from Smash Brothers.
No.
I don't know where else Terry Bogard could come from.
Kazuya Mishima from Smash Brothers.
Probably one of the greatest original characters created for Smash Brothers in the history of Smash Brothers. And that includes Mr. Game & Watch.
Kazuya, if you ever hear Kazuya from Smash Brothers, that one is 100% clown shoes.
Yeah.
Same way as if someone said Minecraft Steve from Super Smash Brothers, right? That one is just deliberately clown shoes.
but we all know. But we all know Sephiroth was made for Smash Brothers.
Again, clown shoes.
Yeah.
Like, it's when you hear people
After they murdered Master Hand in Smash Brothers 4, they had to create a new villain for Ultimate. And I think the Sephiroth filled that role pretty well. It's not as good as Master Hand, but Nintendo did a pretty good job when they created him in the lab.
It does.
I don't know. From what I hear, the villain of Smash Brothers Ultimate is Minecraft Steve.
It does make you wonder though, which part of the kid is Sephiroth or Minecraft Steve?
Yeah. Boy, the Sora release sure came and went, didn't it?
Yeah.
Like, Season 2 had, like, Minecraft Steve, who set the world on fire because he's so broken, and Sephiroth, who set the world on fire because he's so cool. Sora just kind of came out and was like, oh, hey, Sora. Whatever.
We wanted Mickey, darn it.
Sakurai came on screen and just pointed at his hand, Twitter handle.
Like, yeah, that's true. I was in that position of like, okay, my two picks were Dante and Doom Guy. Both of them have already got me costumes by this point, so I'm not expecting anything. So Sora didn't bother me that much.
It should have been the shitty puppet.
Yeah, I was about to say, where's the fucking puppet fans from Super Mario RPG? That guy.
Gino, there
clearly Square has been perfectly nice to play ball with so far, and totally not stiffing Nintendo in a variety of ways.
Yeah. It should have been Genome.
Oh, God. We've already got Snake in. What do we need the Genome soldiers for? They're so lame. Anyway.
I do think that the shitty puppet's name is Gino.
Yes, it is.
It should have been fucking Mallow.
And the last original Nintendo game that I put in time into that I actually have an opinion on was Kirby Adventure.
Oh, man.
And boy, can you tell that's one of the last games made for the Nintendo. Because not only is it, A, just way more technically impressive than just about anything else that came out on that platform, but also, B, it's actually designed to be player-friendly.
I will not let you shit talk the greatness that is the Jungle Book on the NES. I still have PTSD.
Like, you can see the massive change in game design philosophies that occurred in the early 90s. When you go from Super Mario Bros. 1, which is probably the easiest game on the NES of that time, still fairly difficult at times. Falling is an instant death, for instance. And then switch to Kirby, where there are times in that game where you have to actively work to lose. You know? But nonetheless, Kirby, even the most primitive of Kirby games, is still really fun. Kirby, underrated Nintendo franchise.
Absolutely.
All right, and yeah, the only Super Nintendo game I put any time into so far, I put a little bit of time to Super Punch-Out. And I knew that game was going to be fucking weird by the fact that the first opponent isn't Glass Joe.
Who is it?
I don't even remember. Some asshole with a mustache.
I can look
Also,
it up.
not cartoony aesthetics, realistic aesthetics. It's
Oh, weird.
It's Punch-Out. You get the cartoony Boxer Man. Come on. Anyways, that one, Super Punch-Out. Punch-Out has just always kind of been kind of iffy for me.
Error
But
Iron,
then-
maybe?
Super Metroid. Ooh.
Gabby J?
Like,
I don't know.
Super
Yeah.
Metroid. Such a pretty game. And it's just crazy, like, the moment you touch, like, switching from the NES to the Super NES, and it's like, here's a save point. What?
What do you mean we can afford
mean
to put? What do you mean we can afford to put the 5 megs of RAM or whatever on the cassette? Now,
Yeah. And, like, when you get to the Super Nintendo games, for one thing, not only are they just in general less brutally difficult and less reliant on trial and error, but also they have save points. So it starts to increasingly be, oh, so the suspend system that the Virtual Console comes with is now mostly useless unless I'm just proactively trying to cheat.
Yeah.
And that's
Precisely.
so weird.
I mean, I'd say that also depends on on the form of emulation, because like the PlayStation 4's emulation of PS1 games has save states, and you need to use save states because if you don't use save states, then the actual built-in saves don't work.
That's good to know.
At least from what I could tell, like I have yet to be able to load a save file I've made, like an actual legit save file.
Oh no.
It's only the save files that seem to actually save.
Huh.
But anyway.
What else was there? Yeah, Super Metroid. It's crazy the jump from the NES to the Super NES. How so many NES games are just ugly.
Mm-hmm.
And then the Super Nintendo is so pretty.
Yep.
Like, the sprite art in Super Metroid is just gorgeous at several points. Also, you know what's funny about playing Super Metroid for the first time?
What?
This is such a silly, like, issue of, like, oh, I played the game that was inspired by this game before I played the game itself. Playing it and going, oh, that's what the goat statues in Guacamelee are a reference to.
Ah, I figured you already knew.
No, I didn't. Also, shout out to Super Metroid establishing a rule and then breaking it immediately. The first Chozo statue you get to is nice and gives you a new move. Cool. And it just stays there. It's just a statue. The second Chozo statue attacks you. Like, I'm used to that being a late game kind of jump scare. No, we're jumping you from the beginning, motherfucker.
Gotta keep him on
They
their
don't
toes.
expect you to get to the end game, boyo.
It's like, Addy, imagine if the second workbench you got to in Dead Space jump scared you with a necromorph, right?
Yeah.
Anyways, yeah, that's a cool game. I'm going to be putting more time into it. Let's see, what else did I do? Not a lot that's worth talking about, come to think of it. Oh, shit, Destroy All Humans was released on PS Plus a month ago, and I just barely got it before the month ended. Thank God. Did you manage to pick it up, Addy?
I don't remember. Maybe.
So, just Destroy All Humans was one of the games of my childhood. Do you gentlemen know what Destroy All Humans is?
I know of it, never played it.
I've seen videos of it, but didn't seem like my thing, honestly.
I remember there were advertisements for it everywhere in the comic books I read when I was younger.
Yes, it was. I remember that as well. Destroy All Humans is a product very much of its time. It is very much a product of that kind of Grand Theft Auto era of, man, it's cool to build video games where you just go on a massacre and destroy shit and slaughter people. oddly enough, like I've never been a big fan of going on massacres in Grand Theft Auto. It always felt a little bit off, a little bit spooky to me. Destroy All Humans, I don't know why switching it from crime man with machine gun to alien with vaporizing death ray. I guess because it's so obviously absurd and not even vaguely realistic, it becomes so much less disturbing.
Right.
You know? But like, Destroy All Humans is very much a... The original Destroy All Humans was one of those games that was difficult in the way that a lot of games on the PS2 were. Where it's like, okay, here's a bunch of open world missions, and they're difficult not because the enemies thrown at you are particularly hard, but just because, oh, it's an escort mission, and the character you are escorting has 1 hit point of health and is an idiot and walks right into danger. Or it's a time-based race mission, and you have 2 minutes to get to the destination. Even the greatest of speedrunners struggle to get there in 1:50. Those kinds of difficulty, right?
Yeah.
Where you often kind of just walk away like, this is bullshit, man. And this is weird. This remake, for one thing, just generally tones down all of that. Escort missions, for instance, now, escorts are entirely invulnerable to everything. It's a little bit broken. Like, you can just go ahead and let the AIs all gather around your escort, and they just start shooting nukes at your escort, and it kills everybody but the escort. The escort just looks around like, oh, golly gee whiz, that sure was some crazy nuclear inferno there. The time limit missions seem to be gone, or at the very least have much more generous time limits. All of Crypto's abilities that were good in the original Destroy All Humans have been ported forward entirely untouched. All of the abilities he had that sucked have been massively buffed. Massively boofed. Yeah, there we go.
Fairly buffed.
And it ends up in a very weird state, by the way, the balance for that. Because the tools that used to be good in Destroy All Humans have not changed at all, but now they relatively suck, because all of the tools that used to suck got buffed and are now fantastic. This is probably an example of that perfect mid-2000s incredibly immature teenage humor that was so endemic, and I think Addy's been exposed to a lot of that recently through the Super Best Friend stuff with the X-Play stuff. Boy, that's been a trip, hasn't it, Addy?
Oh, I didn't watch the X-Play videos.
I don't blame you. But, for instance, in the original Destroy All Humans, there was a death ray. It shot globs of death. If it hit people, they got lit on fire. If another one hit them, they got vaporized down to a skeleton. There was also the anal probe, which is a gun that shoots out a little tube. Either you hit anywhere on the opponent's body but their ass, and it does virtually nothing, or you hit them in the ass, and it causes their head to pop, and they shoot out their brain, and you can take their brain for money. And the anal probe was terrible in the original Destroy All Humans. You just used it because it was the mid-2000s, and it was funny to have a gun that shot a tube up someone's ass. Boy, what a time to be alive. And as you can imagine, there are very few times where the enemy is going to be presenting their ass to you in a fight. It was barely even useful if you're fighting someone who wasn't fighting back. Destroy All Humans Remake makes it where you lock on a reticle to the opponent, and when you press the right trigger, a little timing thing starts to appear. There's a little butt icon with 2 butt cheeks, and an arrow that goes up and down. When you press it with the right timing, when the arrow is down, the tube shoots out and it seeks their ass, regardless of where they are, how far they are from you, whether they're facing you or not, regardless of where you're aiming, and it goes up there and gets the brain for you. And the timing, very quick, very generous. It kills pretty well all the lower and mid-level enemies instantly. Oh, and also you can upgrade it so you can shoot out 2 tubes at once. You can also get another upgrade that makes it where whenever you shoot one guy with it, it also causes whoever's close to him, their head to explode for literally no reason. And it becomes, as soon as you figure that out, especially because picking up brains restores your health on top of giving you money, once you figure that out, it's like, oh, this is the best gun in the game. Easily. And it becomes this horrifying instance of you will be surrounded by a crowd of enemies. And you get this Darth Vader-esque, all I'm surrounded by is fear and dead men. and your gun just starts rapidly shooting out tentacles in every direction that horribly violates each of these people and causes their head to explode. And it's like, okay, I know this started as gross out toilet humor, haha, it's funny, I stuck a tube up their ass. This is genuine horror movie shit. A crowd of 10 soldiers is gathered around this alien, and he just starts shooting out tentacles in all directions, and their heads all explode. What the fuck? Other than that, it's a really good example of a remake, I think, because it is straight up everything that worked about the original Destroy All Humans, they didn't touch. Pretty well all of the dialogue is entirely just ported over. They got the voice actors to come in and redo it, it sounds like, because it does sound like it's a higher audio quality. They added a couple lines making jokes about Donald Trump, because how could you not? Destroy All Humans is, by and large, a satire of how stupid people are.
Right.
But other than that, all the stuff that worked is untouched. It just is here. It feels the same as it always did, but it looks prettier. The controls are way better. They added a bunch of movement options, which is good, because Crypto felt like a slow-ass tank in Destroy All Humans 1, and now there's actual movement options, which, by the way, combine the new movement options with the fact that the enemies are more or less untouched, so they still behave as if they're trying to attack a much slower enemy. And you combine that with all the shit weapons now being made amazing. The game's difficulty is kind of a joke. The original Destroy All Humans was already kind of a, like, power fantasy kind of game. This game is 100% power fantasy. Unless they are just throwing loads of giant robots at you, you are so just above and beyond anything the AI in this game can throw at you. It's absurd. Like, they are just struggling to shoot you out of the air as you are doing crazy fucking jetpack dash tricks in the air and shooting out tentacles that kill all of them, or electricity that also kills all of them, or bombs that not only kill them but also turn their vehicles into ammo, because that's a thing you can do. It's a very power fantasy heavy game, but it is nonetheless very, very fun. Anyways, yeah, that's the extent of the video game talk. Wrestling talk, oh boy, I want to get this over with soon, because holy shit, this is such a long podcast already.
I hunger.
SmackDown last night, good episode. Gog said Muda would be inducted to the Hall of Fame. He wasn't. Rey Mysterio was, even though Rey's still active. Good segment where Dom comes out and says he's a shit father, that he wasn't there for him. You suck, sir. And the crowd loses it. The crowd is about ready to jump the barrier and just grab Dominic and pull him into the crowd and pull him limb from limb and then eat his limbs like that episode of Game of Thrones. Delicious, delicious Dominic. He's a bit greasy, though. But just look at that hair. Anyways, Dominic at one point says to Rey, this is the highlight here, he says to Rey, Eddie should have been my father.
If he had won the ladder match, then yeah.
Yeah. I think that's the idea. Dominic's saying, I wish Eddie had won that ladder match.
But Dominic, you stopped him!
Good shit. They had the 5-way match of the Sheamus, the Drew McIntyre, the Cross, the Knight, and also Xavier replacing Kofi, thank God. Solid 5-way match, kind of dragged down by Cross, just kind of being there and not really doing anything. And Drew also.
I'm not surprised.
Cross and Drew, very clearly the only ones in the match who never did anything cool. LA Knight never did any crazy high spots, but it doesn't matter because LA Knight's so good at just the little things, the storytelling, the facial expressions. Like, he was able to make the team up of Knight and Cross a fun team up, even though Cross was doing nothing to actually make it a fun team up. Sheamus, cool as ever, still in seemingly the peak of his career, despite the fact he's in his mid-40s. Xavier continues to be the best member of New Day, who nonetheless is the one that out of the New Day that gets treated like shit because he did a stupid sex tape, the moron.
I can forgive the sex tape, but the YouTube channel has gotta go.
I wish Xavier was employed somewhere where I wouldn't have to hear about him.
There we go. Those are both the answers I expected. All right. Solid match. Weird ending. Where simultaneously Sheamus catches Xavier with a brogue kick as he dives on Drew, kind of implying maybe he still gives a shit about Drew. And Drew then in kind catches LA Knight with a Claymore as LA Knight was about to hit Sheamus from behind. And then they both go for a pin and catch simultaneous pins. So they both win the match. And Gunther, who is there standing on the stage, gets a look on his face like, what the fuck? This is bullshit, man. Drew and Sheamus go back and argue. Gunther goes to Adam Pearce and says, okay, my English is not that great, but I understand words. Challenger, singular. Challengers, plural. And he points his belt, singles championship. You are losing authority. And Gunther's not a great promo guy, but that works, where he's not just being an asshole and saying, okay, yeah, my English ain't great, but I know this, asshole. And also, I'm going to say this is not only your fault, but I'm also going to say that you are letting your shit get out of control, because I'm a dick. And I'm going to be a bitch, and I'm going to say that you're a shitty manager who can't control his own team. Fuck you. And I just love how they're turning all of the heels into pains in Adam Pearce's ass. Like, it occurred to me last night, the issue with authority figures is every wrestling company feels pushed to go for heel authority figures. Firstly, because Austin and Vince made it so over, and Austin has driven most wrestling fans to believe that promotions are naturally evil, unless they're Tony Khan, apparently. And all that, and plus, just generally, right now, there is a very strong anti-authority bent in the modern generation. So the question became, how can you even make a non-heel authority figure? How can you make a face authority figure work? Dirty has apparently figured out in the last month, the way to make a face authority figure work is to make him a beleaguered fucking retail manager who is stuck with an endless parade of Karen heels coming in and annoying him.
It's relatable. It works.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's really working. That's a big part of why Chelsea Green is getting so over as a heel. It's because she's doing a good job of reminding people of all the annoying assholes customers they have to deal with at work.
Mm-hmm.
And we're sympathizing with Adam Pearce, even though he's kind of a nothing character. He's fun to see just because he has those such great facial expressions of, oh God, kill me now. Oh boy, good shit. Ugh. Let's see. They had Charlotte versus Shotzi, kind of a nothing match, very obviously choreographed. Shotzi was very clearly out of sync. It was, again, one of those issues. Charlotte has this issue a lot, where she thinks it's a good idea to choreograph a match with someone who's not so great. So Charlotte is going through the motions really quickly, and her opponent clearly is not. And so Charlotte keeps getting stuck in these odd positions of, okay, we're supposed to go for a German suplex next. Oh, she is not even nearly as ready as I am. I'm gonna prepare a waist lock, stick my hands out in the air to take a waist lock, and wait for Shotzi to back into me. Oh, boy. Nothing match. Rhea came out. They both cut nothing promos on each other. Big nothing. It was pretty well just your classic wrestler. I'm gonna wrestle you, and I'm gonna take your belt. Oh, we're really setting the fucking world on fire tonight, aren't we, girls? Oh, boy. Let's see. What else was there of note? Oh, Legado continues to turn face, which is a surprise. Legado del Fantasma. I mentioned this on the Discord, but it was funny. At one point during the match, it's a 3-on-3. Legado versus Judgment Day, with the ladies at ringside, Rhea and Zelina. At one point, there's a big schmoz at the ringside, and Zelina goes to get in Rhea's face. Rhea picks up and powerbombs Zelina into Legado. Like a full-blown throwing, just chuck you off my shoulders, powerbomb onto the two Legados. And I thought that was two of the Legados, and I thought that was funny as hell. Santos and Joaquin. What's the name of the third one that's not so great?
You asked me that, and I only ever remember his original name.
Tell me his original name.
Well, now I can't tell you that either.
What's he called? 2K22.
In 2K22, he's oh lordy, what is he?
He's got such a generic name. Because Santos and Joaquin Wild, those are names that stick out with you. But he's like just he is about as generic a Latino name as you get. He's like Roberto Gonzalez or something.
Cruz
like
del
that.
Toro. I kept wanting to say bull of some sort. I knew it all went back to the cow of some sort, but I couldn't remember it.
He hasn't
Cruz
always been
del
called that,
Toro.
though. He's not called that in 2K22.
Not in 2K22. In 2K22, he's Raul Mendoza.
A really generic name. Though it does make me think of Simpsons. They just do something for me. Stop talking crazy.
Yeah.
Anyways.
Well, upon Googling him, Raul Mendoza is his actual name, so.
Yeah, well, I probably could have told you that's why they changed it. So, excuse me. Excuse me. And the final bit that I can recall was they had Jimmy and Jay come out to the ring to explain why Jay betrayed Sammy on Monday. Jay just simply said, Jimmy's my family. I don't have to explain shit to you. I gotta protect my family. Sammy's the real traitor. Sammy's the real asshole. And I was just kind of sitting there like, again, I think it became clear already a couple weeks ago Triple H has a very different idea for the bloodline stuff than I do. But I was so much more interested in the idea of a rebellious babyface Jey Uso, you know?
Yeah.
And now they're just back to being, I don't know, here's the Usos, I guess. It's kind of like, okay, I've once again lost interest in this act.
Jay came out, he said, Jimmy's my family, Rikishi, and then left. He was threatened.
Rikishi!
He was threatened with car.
It'd be funny if they cut to the backstage and Rikishi is there like, yes, I support Roman Reigns, and Paul clearly has a gun to Rikishi's back.
Yeah.
I do appreciate they still teased a little bit though that Jay doesn't actually really like Roman. He just is doing this for the sake of Jimmy. When Jay first showed up, Paul was there to greet him at the door. Roman wasn't even there that night. Paul goes up to greet him, and Jay goes, Paul, where's Roman? Paul doesn't answer, he hugs him. And they pull apart, and Jay just shoots a glare at him like, okay, motherfucker, where's Roman? Where's Roman? Paul goes, Roman is very proud of you, Jay. Jay again just glares at him. Motherfucker, that wasn't an answer. Paul says, Jay, I want you to know I am so proud of you. Jay continues to glare at him, and Jay just says, look, when you find out where Roman is, just let me know. He just walks away, and I love that. I like the idea that no one in the bloodline really likes Paul except maybe Roman. Anyways.
They used to like him, but then he stopped paying them. Like Paul's been running the same hustle since the ECW days.
Oh man. Sophie. Jay and Jimmy come out and talk. Cody appears, which was a surprise to me. I figured Cody was exclusive to Raw. And who gives a shit nowadays, though? Please get rid of the brand split. It sucks so bad. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
Cody appears. Cody says, hey, you guys say I'm getting involved in your business. You guys listen to Roman. I listen to the fans. The fans say, let's beat each other's asses. I'm going to beat your asses. Cody came out wearing like a tweed coat, by the way. He looked like Sherlock Holmes minus the hat. It was weird.
Yeah.
Cody rips off the coat and the suit jacket and the vest and the whole deal. And he even goes down to just his bare chest, which I thought was funny. He charges the ring, and at the same time, he charges the ring to attack Jimmy. Sammy, who wasn't even seen in the crowd, slips in and gets in and starts attacking Jay specifically. And specifically, Sammy drags Jay out, beating Jay's ass to emphasize, yeah, this is personal now. They have a brawl up and down the arena. They come back to the ring. Jay and Jimmy are pulled away by Jamie Noble, while Sammy and Cody get back in the ring, and they, are like, yeah, woo, we beat their asses. So all around solid ending to the match. I think that did do a relatively better job. Having having Sammy come in to support Cody instead of the other way around, I thought did a better job of. They can't transfer Sammy's heat to Cody. I've said this several times now. But that made it seem a lot less awkward. It still isn't putting heat on Cody, but it makes the angle of them working together seem less like it's just Cody trying to siphon off of Sammy's fame, right?
Right.
Yeah, they can still have the handicap match where both of them pin Roman and then split the belt.
Yeah. Yeah, which G-Man still thinks that is happening, doesn't he?
No, he never thought that. He just wrote it bad, and I've been making fun of him for that. Like he's always thought it was a triple threat, but he wrote Sammy and Cody without an Oxford comma, so they were a team.
I like the idea of not only suggesting that match, but like it just starts off with Sammy and Cody whooping on Roman's ass. Roman doesn't even get a shot. Roman never stages a comeback. It is honestly just a horrible gang beating.
Yeah. They get out the Sting bets and start actually doing the 2K22 bet animations to Roman.
Yeah. Sammy busts out the Johnny Knoxville props. He puts Roman in the mousetrap.
Yeah.
Anyways, I believe we can go ahead and call
Sammy
it.
tasers Roman. It plays the plays the piped in taser sounds.
Yeah.
And they
boy!
split
All right.
And then both of them pin Roman at the same time, splitting the belts, and then brand split. Yay!
But the screwy thing is, you'd think it'd be Cody gets the WWE belt and Sammy gets the Universal belt. No, literally, Triple H brings out a table saw and puts both the belts on there.
Yeah,
Saws
they
them
get
both in half.
They get like a mixed design over a new belt. You know, like cool.
Two-face belts. Oh boy!
I also like the idea. I also like the idea of them winning the belts, but they split in a certain way. So Cody gets the Universal belt and he goes back to be Stardust.
Yeah. There we go. Sure.
Just the worst outcome.
Oh, I actually should mention this. In Fire Pro, I did wrap up. I made Cody. I fleshed out Cody. Actually, come to think of it, I haven't gone back and fixed some of the movesets, though. But I did put in Cody. I got all the Cody variants in there. We got New Japan Cody, Ring of Honor Cody. Well, probably not Ring of Honor Cody. AEW Cody, Modern Cody, Stardust, Beautiful Disaster Cody, whatever. You get the idea.
Yeah.
In Fire Pro, so next time we do that, there is that waiting for you.
Nice.
And I believe we can go ahead and call this. Oh shit, he's getting it in early. God damn, I am hungry. I hope somebody brought in food.